Certified FBA Friday. You already know. Everybody wants reparations. You got Mr. Mutombo who wants reparations. And then you got Mr. Lumbumba who wants reparations. And you even got Mrs. Somalia or Mr. Somalia or whatever the hell that is, Somalia. They want reparations. But the only people who gonna get them reparations is certified foundational Black Americans. Because guess what? If they don't run it, then I'm gonna see all the tethers and I'm gonna call ICE Show Speed. FBA Friday. We in the house. Free Hugh.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
One more time, certified all day. Somebody said, I'll forget them. I got them. Let's go to work. Fam, what you got when you got all these damn tethers running around here and they shook? We told everybody delineation was making these people very afraid. We told everybody that delineation had these people scared. Now they're admitting it. FBAs are a security risk for African countries? No. FBA grassroots delineation got your ass shook. Let's go to work, fam. Here we go.
The delineation movement is causing a lot of discomfort in many circles around the world. Not only in America, but on the continent of Africa and a lot of power centers around the world. You know, the delineators are really creating a lot of confusion, and the effects, the negative effects on, those who are trying to expand their business or their trades or their
tetherism can't get in on what we pushing. So now your ass is afraid. Just say it, Tether man. Just say it. You're afraid. We told everybody we run this. We told everybody we got this. We told everybody they was running scared. Now they saying it. Yo, tetherism is shook because your ass can't get $1 from us. There you go. Thank us later.
Worldview to different parts of the world have hit a roadblock because the delineators have really caused people around the world to take a pause at the invitations and the expansions of, entry into certain parts of the world by the African-American people. Now, we have to make it clear that the African-Americans are different from the FBAs. And let me tell you the difference.
The Africans are people who are from Africa who got here last night. And they came here via a boat, they came here via a plane, or they asked to just swim. But they can't swim no more. The foundational Black Americans are the people who built this thing from day one. So you got that part right, Mr. Tether. And that hairline cannot be hid underneath that hat, Mr. Tether. And now Mr. Tether and his little flea bee family got to accept there is a difference. So family, he's telling us delineation, regulation, and separation is whooping they ass.
FBAs are people who claim that they are from here originally. They have nothing to do with Africa. They are not people who have any connection to Africa. And so they want nothing to do with Africa. They go, a step further by insulting Africans and demeaning Africans and, describing Africans in National Geographic terms. Just very, very negative ways. I'm an African. You won't see me on National Geographic.
No, you're lying. I saw you on National Geographic. Don't act like that damn cheetah wasn't chasing you. Don't act like that zebra didn't have you in the headlock. I see that zebra want to see that hairline too. Stop playing. Don't be up in here because that honey badger done ripped that hat off your head and want to see what your hairline was hitting for. I saw you on National Geographic in between the segment with the giraffe and the mongoose. Quit playing with us, homeboy. I did see you. If you're going to be on National Geographic, just keep it a buck, bruh. But that's the difference. FBA, we ain't on that. We get into the bag.
But the way they describe the Africans, it's very negative. They just are worse than the colonizer and how the colonizer described Africa. And then you have the African Americans are those who consider themselves to be descendants of Africa, descendants of the slave trade, descendants of people who can trace their roots from the motherland. And they are more sympathetic to the Pan-African, struggle for Black people, the power to the people kind of movement.
No. Boy, hey, his power to the people was as weak as Hugo Flea. Look how whack that is, fam. The power to the people. You mean power to the giraffe.
Pan-African, struggle for Black people, the power to the people.
No, we don't know that, okay? We don't know what you're talking about. Okay, power to the zebra does not count. We are not accepting that. We reject your deposit, mister. There you are. Family, we told everybody that foundational Black Americans was going to take it another notch. Damn right we are. Hell yeah. And you're watching it right now. They're breaking down, telling everybody that it's a security risk when they deal with FBA. And that's exactly what it's going to be. Didn't we tell everybody that everybody was going to be uncomfortable? They was going to be irritated. They was going to be shook. Exactly what's happening right now. On this broadcast today, my good brothers and sisters, we're going to go all the way down the list, and I'm going to tell y'all that the African Union, y'all know what we exposed this summer? They about to spin the block because come March, in a few weeks, they are going to go to the UN and they're going to try to push forward the 6th region. They're going to try to push forward a diaspora. We're going to break down what Donald Trump did. We're going to break down what they're doing, and we're going to break down how this is the reparations generation. And this is what it's always been. When I tell you right now, my good brothers and sisters, this is the reparations generation. This is the reparations generation. And foundational Black Americans is standing certified 100 on certified business and can't no dusty, rusty, always musty tether ever take what we got going. It is about to go down. Smash the like button, family. We in here building, working, shining, grinding. Watch the tether tell us even further why he's afraid.
Kind of movements, the group of people who feel like all Black people need to come together and work together. And they are the ones who, have been traveling to Africa, making connections with Africa and other parts of, the diaspora. But because of the FBA, a lot of African countries are taking a second look. They're like, okay, what are we dealing with here? What are we dealing with here? Because you don't want an FBA in your country.
And FBA don't want to come to your country. And FBA stay away from your country. Hell, you don't want to be in your country. You don't want to be in your continent. I'm wondering where the hell you at right now, because I guarantee you it's everywhere but Africa. Fam, are they trying to put that on us that FBA is the reason why they asses is out here getting completely ran out of where the hell they from? This is what we talk about. A bunch of fleers are trying to say they don't want us here. They don't know why we're here. They are trying to be this. Yeah, good. We don't want to be in your damn country, because last time I checked, everything that's going on in your country is exactly what we knew it was. It was a hell of a lot of babbling, just like you doing right here. We got these people shook, family. FBA is a security risk. No. FBA got your ass scared. That's what it is. Their only breach that you see is him trying to breach them damn borders, and now his ass is getting breached back across them borders because we made all this deportation possible. It's all FBA. Oh, we going there today. Dr. Kubar Vasquez, we gonna get you. The Grinch that stole the mud pies, we still gonna get you. And this tether man right here, who is on National Geographic in between the giraffe and the mongoose, we go get ya. And by the end of this broadcast, they gonna know FBA run the yard.
Because if somebody can look down on Africa and Africans, you don't want them in your country. These people could come to the country and be spies for the colonizer. They could come to your country and...
Stop. Fam, why the hell can't they say colonizer? Y'all notice they always say colonizer? So that kind of tell you what type of time they on, right? They love them the colonizer. Fam, if it happens once, twice, 3 times, 42 times, 57 times, 68 times, I'm like, okay, damn. But by the 70th time, I'm starting to think there's something different here, fam. These folks is going way into the colonizer a little too much. And matter of fact, look at this picture right here. He got his mouth open. He talking about the colonizer. And now he's going to go into a whole thing about how the colonizer ain't too bad. Fam, they got some real tether starburst going on. This is the tether Skittles bag. This is the tether fruit by the foot, fruit roll-up tethers. These fruit roll-up tethers is tripping. That lets you know, family, who do they love? They love their colonizer.
And cause more damage to your country in terms of safety and security, because they don't consider themselves as Africans. So
somebody in the chat said colon tether. The colon tethers is out, fam. No, we don't want nothing to do with this. You can have that. You flee. Go ahead. I'll be the security risk. I ain't going to nowhere where they consider the Europeaner the colonizer. Hell no. Have that. Be that. Don't want that. Nope. Hell no. And notice, fam, he's going to say we don't consider ourselves Africans. No. We're not. Again, it's not a matter of belief. It's not what we call. It's not what we consider. It is what it is, bruh.
This is causing African governments to think twice about who these people are. Because if you listen to the FBA, the things that they say is worse than the colonizer.
There you go.
And they could be a security risk to the safety and security of African countries.
Stop. Fam, you knew where it was heading. Did you know where it was going, family? Did you? There you go. Right there, my brothers and sisters. They said that we're worse than his colonizer. You know, because he loves his colonizer, because the more him and his colonizer get together, he can be that colon tether. There it is, there it go. Every time you hear these individuals talk, they always run this game about how we worse than the W, because they love the W. That's what they really want to say from the beginning. Fam, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Don't start none, won't be none. This is the type of time Black America's been on for a hell of a long time. And when I tell you right now that these individuals, if it came down to it, between being down with the Black folks or being down with the colonizer, they picking the colonizer every damn day. That's why they always over there on their knees, because they love the colonizer. That's why they be bending over, because they love the colonizer. You see what we talking about? Fam, if you can't even differentiate colonizer and colonizer, I mean, doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about them? Damn right it does. This is what we mean, fam. Came out the gates going. Y'all smashed that like button. We in here cooking early. FBA Friday. We in the house. Family, there's been a hell of a lot of backdoor avenue things that these individuals been doing. There's been a hell of a lot of games these people been playing. And we've been breaking it all the way down. And now, if you notice, there's been a late pattern that's been going on. You had the African, right? That's been running around here saying, well, the colonizer. You got Dr. Kubar popping up left and right. Shout out to y'all. Because my certified foundational Black Americans, we said, where's Dr. Umar getting this whole pivot thing going on? And I promise y'all, like I tell everybody, yo chat ain't as good as ours, family. Yo chat ain't as popping as ours. Yo chat can't get it jumping and predict things like ours can. Y'all said, I think Dr. Kubar's kicking some of that African Union talk. Remember when all that stuff kind of died down? Remember that, fam? And they was talking about the 6th region and everything? What ended up happening following that, family? Now Dr. Kubar's out here talking about some African Union. He's talking about reparations. And I'd be damned if my brothers and sisters weren't correct. Look at your screen, fam. Look at your screen, brothers and sisters. Africa for Africans. An AU officially labeled slavery and their colonizers as genocide and crimes against humanity. The AU summit, reparations will follow. That's where all this came from with Dr. Kubar Vasquez. That's where all the Dafa came from with Dr. Kubar Vasquez. This man is trying to weasel his way into our reparations claim, and he done went full comrade with who? He done went full comrade with the AU. And family, as we exposed them last summer, they done spun the block around now so they can try to run it on back. And how they trying to run it back, family? They trying to run it back now with the reparations scam. And they trying to make it look now like it's a foundational Black American thing, and we done weaseled our way out of it. Nah, we was never a part of what y'all talking about. We knew this was coming, right? We knew it. When we exposed these people this summer, fam, you already knew it was coming from. Immediately, this man posted that. Immediately, this man showed it up. I'm going to tell y'all, all y'all little tethers out there, y'all keep talking. I'm going to do some work. I told you, I'm going to call Ice Show Speed on y'all since y'all love Ice Show Speed so damn much. I'm going to have Ice Show Speed on speed dial so we can go ahead and check all y'all. How about that one? Do they want to go there, fam? Because we can go there as much as they want to go there. But I promise you, FBA going to win. This is where it all comes from, family. And we're going to break all of that down because they've been doing these little things in secret. And when I tell y'all they've been out here on this funny style trick game and running all these interferences, now, family, the Grinch that stole the mud pies, remember I just showed you all of those tethers just last week? And all those tethers last week were running out here and they weren't really apologizing. Fam, just like any tether, give it a week, they're going to start blaming FBA. And that's exactly what it is. Everybody hating on FBA, but everybody watching FBA. Watch this right here, fam. This is what I'm talking about. You got the dusty, musty tethers, and then you got all these tether friends, tether allies, tether buddies, and tether relatives. Look at this. Another, let's not forget how FBA treated Haitians. Fam, all that talk about dirty Black Americans, they standing on it. So we gonna stand on delineation. Watch this.
That lady who came on the podcast and said dirty Black American, yes, she was wrong in that situation. No and ifs or buts. And let's not act as if we don't remember how.
Did he say no and ifs or buts? He can't even get that right. These people can't even talk.
And let's not act as if situation. No and ifs or buts. And let's not act as if we don't remember how you guys used to treat us. Check it out.
Them Yankees used to come through and torture us, dog. Literally every day to school. That's where it starts, at school. Americans versus Haitians. Once they find out you were Haitian, that was it. They go by from your name. Once they could have picked up on or your accent, they was at you daily, every day. From PE, you had grown men like us. Just imagine us go picking on little kids every day. I'm gonna say it like this. Even I went to an elementary school, Edison Park. To get to Edison Park, you had to go through Edison projects. There ain't nothing but Black Americans there. You had grown men beating on us as elementary kids, just going to school.
No,
they hate you all over here.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Fam, listen to these people crying. Listen to these folks. Somebody said no but, no colonizers. Listen to this, fam. See the propaganda they putting out? The FBA was beating up on them. No talk about the W man. No talk about the Mayo man. No talk about the Miracle Whip man. Ain't saying a word about them. But listen to how they talking about Black Americans. Grown men was beating them up. You lying.
But you come in here. You got to make it all the way to get here. But you got to go all the way around. Go to 71st. So we devised a plan. We go there. 30 of us going together. So whoever get caught. Whoever make it. But we did it with numbers. And that was just elementary. And that was early 80s, 81, 82. When we got to middle school, it was, we started to fight back a little bit. And when we got towards the end of middle school, that's when they really turned over. We really went to fighting back. I got jumped in middle school. That's why I went to school with all of them who did it. So I was coming from school. I picked up my brothers. So I'm going to go pick them up in front of the school. They say, hey, don't go Haitian right there. Go get them. So they listened. They jumped me right in front of the school, right? Literally.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Stop playing. Fam, this is another reason why we delineating. I want y'all to notice who's absent from all this babble. Who they ain't bringing up during all this babble, fam. I'm going to tell you who they not bringing up. They not bringing up the dominant society. Fam, it's set in stone. These people love their colonizers. They love their Mayo colonizers. They'll do anything to be next to the Miracle Whip colonizers. They'll come up with fake stories that always leaves the W out. Now, fam, like I know, don't the W's talk reckless about the Haitians? All the talk. They ain't talking about what Donald Trump said about them. They worrying about us. They're too busy making up fantasy stories about black folks terrorizing them. But they leave out the W's, family. Right now, you go talk to your average black person. I'm talking about just a random one at the store and say, how you feel about Haitians? Black person gonna say, I don't care. Get out of my way. I'm shopping. You go talk to a W and say how you feel about the Haitians. They gonna sit down and run them through the mud. They gonna drag them. And they gonna basically tell you they can't stand them. But I bet the Haitians don't say nothing about it. I bet the Jamaicans don't say nothing about it. I bet the Africans don't say nothing about it, because that is a massa, and that's where their loyalty lies. Black Americans understand that. Told y'all, there was no type of sympathy in any of that. So all them folks out there saying, it was wrong what the dirty black American woman said. Yep, and look how these individuals is coming next, making excuses. Proceed.
Team me and all positivity, right? But one thing we not gonna do is act like this type of shit was not happening. Like, fam, he was talking about the 80s, 90s. He already grew up. Let's talk about the 2000s, the mid 2000s. Fam, I remember whenever I first got out here, it was like, bro, I'm talking about, I already knew black Americans back from Haiti, right? I'm thinking it's all love. You got 10 cousins coming up trying to jump you and shit like that. And it was like, damn, fam. I'm talking about, it's crazy. Until we started fighting back. Until we started stabbing niggas. Until we started shooting niggas.
Whoa. Whoa. Hold up. Y'all see how quick that turned left? Or maybe that's what you was doing to us regardless. Maybe that's what was on your mind regardless. Maybe all the talk about black Americans being so mean to you never happened. But everything that you're saying happened started off because y'all were initiating it. Uh-oh. Here we go, family. Another exposure. Listen to how they feel about black Americans. Listen to what they saying. We can't account for none of the stuff they talking about, but yet they start talking about getting physical. They start talking about committing crimes. Fam, there goes another tether. How many do you need? How many more tethers, fam? We gonna sit here and see more tethers talking like this? Every time you turn around, you see a tether talking reckless. No different than the other tether. Talking about how she was going to strap something to her. And then the other tether. And then the other tether. Y'all see what I'm talking about? This is what we mean. Delineation.
Now they feel us, right? But, you know, like I said, I don't condone that bullshit, bro, the violence and all that other stuff. Because now it's all love, fam. It's really all love. But that's really what we was going through. And just like, you know, how some FBAs, they're like, damn, fam, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't trust white folks. There's some Haitians and some Mexicans. I don't trust black folks. Honestly, I grew up with black folks after that whole situation.
You grew up with black folks? Wait a minute. So you don't identify as black neither. Y'all know, boy, that's got tether all in it. Y'all notice? First off, he's lying. Second off, he's lying. Third, he's full of ish. But notice he keeps saying black folks, like black folks over there. Because, you know, Haitians don't consider themselves black. Everybody get mad when foundational black Americans say that these people are just mops. And everybody gets so upset and so bothered by it. But fam, I listen to them talk, and that's how they identify themselves. They consider themselves non-black. I don't know how many more times we got to see these people come around and say, I know black, I don't talk black. No, what is black? Blacks, you know, you blacks, those blacks, them blacks. They never consider the person in the mirror black. So therefore, F them. Then your ass is a melanated other person. That's what it is. And we classifying it. But I want y'all to notice, you see how basically they were saying they were being terrorized by us? Y'all see that right there? Y'all see the play, right? Y'all see how they're basically saying black Americans cause the Haitian community so much harm. You see this, fam? They was picking on us, beating each other up till we start scrapping back. By the way, first off, unless you're somebody maybe from New York, maybe Florida, again, for the millionth time, we ain't grow up with a bunch of Haitians in the United States of America as black people. We didn't, okay? Speaking as somebody from Georgia, we didn't grow up with no Haitians in Georgia, all right? They always try to put these people in our hoods. Always try to put these people in our neighborhoods like we grew up with them. All right. We didn't grow up with Haitians like that. They'll take the experience of some people in Florida, some people on the East Coast up in New York, and then they'll apply that to Alabama and Arkansas and Texas and Georgia and North Carolina, South Carolina, Michigan. They'll apply that to Missouri. We didn't grow up with Haitians the same way we didn't grow up with Jamaicans like that. Do not apply that to Black Americans. Fam, how many of y'all grew up with Haitians like that? Where they got these terror stories? You know what I'm saying? They was jumping over fences to get away from Black folks. Can't nobody count for them. And by the way, if all this happened, y'all notice they don't never have no documentation of it? They don't ever have no photos, no pictures, no nothing about Black folks being so mean to them. Okay, you didn't grow up with them neither, right? Neither did you, neither did you, neither did you. Right there. You said you grew up in LA and ain't even meet a Haitian. Thank you. Thank you, fam. This thing where they try to make it look like we're on some type of time. No. But what I do know is that they come over here with vitriol, and you heard it all throughout that. Fam, we ain't done. Check this out. When I tell everybody that foundational Black Americans are standing on foundational Black American business, and the more we stand on foundational Black American business, the more these people get upset, the more they get agitated, the more they get afraid. We ain't lying. We ain't lying, fam. This is why FBA standing on our square, and it cannot be penetrated. And I want everybody to continuously to push that line, because we ain't grow up. Damn, boy, y'all still in the chat saying, nope, 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 nope. There they go. I mean, damn. I mean, how many more Black Americans got to tell y'all no? Quit inserting yourselves in our stories. Y'all notice this, fam? You ever notice that whenever they're trying to leech off of our culture, they always say they were present around us, marching with us, rallying with us, right? And then on the same breath, they'll turn around and they'll say that they were being terrorized by us and we was beating them up. It's never a good thing whenever they place themselves around Black Americans. These are their words. One minute they say, we did grow up around you guys and we marched with y'all. Can I get some money? We did grow up with you guys. We was rallying with y'all. Can I have your reparations? So it's always something that benefits them whenever they place themselves in our stories. And then it's also, y'all was around us because you was mean and we was running from y'all. Everybody knows about the Haitians and how we was getting hurt by all the Black Americans. Everybody know about the Africans. They make it sound like it's common knowledge when it ain't. You ain't grow up around us. So quit putting that fantasy in foundational Black American business. Look at this right here, family. This is what we be talking about. Watch this. This guy, he comes out and he starts saying, I got a question for Black Americans, FBA. Why am I considered somebody who loves Taylor so much if I just want to connect to the diaspora? Y'all watch this right here.
This question, bro, on some real shit. Like, what's up? Like, what's going on with I'm going to ask the FBA community this, right? Why, when a Black American or African American like myself, you know, speaks unity with the diaspora, will automatically a tether, or with this, with that, oh, yeah, you off code. And yo, bro, like, we got bigger fish to fry. I'm not about to be sitting here, even though, yeah, we do talk about each other. We always, you know, got some internet shit going on. I'm not about to sit here and degrade, you know, my fellow Black man or my fellow Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not my style.
No. Dude just said he wasn't Black a minute ago, fam. This is what I'm talking about. Listen to this right here, fam. You heard him. I'm not going to sit there and degrade my fellow Black person. What do you mean? The Haitian who said that he's not Black? Is that what you mean? Who are you talking about, bruh? Who are you talking about? You're identifying a color with these individuals that they just sat there and told you they don't feel that they are. He just sat there and said he ain't no Black person, fam. He said the Black people. When you talk about Black people in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, that means you don't consider yourself Black. So there you go, fam. These people don't consider themselves Black. And yet this man is sitting there saying, well, you know, the Black people. No, they said they not Black. I'm only giving them what they asked for. Watch this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if that's what y'all want to do, then do y'all thing, bro. But y'all can't be knocking people and getting mad and calling people names and just because they don't agree with your agenda. Like, of course, I love being a Black American. I love being African American, right? But at the same time, I'm not preaching that, you know, even though like we see a lot of foul shit, like I'm gonna be honest, bro, we do see a lot of foul shit, and I always speak up for us, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean like I'm
nah, bro, no, you're not. Nah, no, I don't want to hear that. I know, you know, we do see a lot of foul things, you know, but nah, I don't buy that. You ain't saying nothing. You being soft. This right here, fam, let me tell you something. Being soft on an enemy don't get you nowhere. Remember that, brothers and sisters. Remember that, brothers and sisters. Basically, what you trying to do is you trying to escort some tethers into our house. That's what you trying to do. That's what he's basically telling us, that these people disrespect us and it's okay. Don't say nothing back. This is another turn the other cheek. Fam, this is nothing more than the modern day John Lewis. This is that modern day Jesse Jackson. That's why he keeps referring to himself as an African American. I want everybody to notice how he's saying African American and he's preaching be nice to people who ain't nice to us. Watch it more.
I'm well traveled, bro, and I know a lot of this shit be internet shit. You feel me? I've been around, I've traveled the world, bro. I've lived amongst these people. You know what I'm saying? It's really love, like as far as what I'm concerned, especially like in places like England.
Oh,
like,
no, hell no. Well, hell, fam, did y'all just see what went on at the BAFTA Awards? Did he just say in England? What? Fam, where in the hell did supremacy come from? Supremacy came from over there. Fam, how this man started off talking about all the Haitians and all the Africans. Next thing you know, he started talking about England. You know, it's real good. Even England, even Germany. We might as well say Italy too now. The Ukraine is real nice to us. I heard Russia love black folks. They got some good soul food restaurants. What about K-pop in Korea? You see what I'm talking about? You see how when you start listening to somebody pushing that turn the other cheek, be nice, be friends with the tethers, let the tethers talk. As my sister Natural always say, let's hear Tether's perspective. Shout out to you, sister. These people be sitting in these Twitter spaces. They be sitting in these TikTok lives saying, yes, Tether, tell me more. Why do you hate us? Oh, okay, Tether. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I wouldn't like me neither. Go ahead, Tether. Why are you a Tether, by the way? All the interviews with the Tethers got to stop. If you ain't doing like I do, like my sister Natural does, like my brother Tariq does, or like my brothers and sisters in the chat right now, you need to sit down. Because this interview with a Tether, we done heard enough. And every time we listen, you get that right there. You see how he just spun it, fam? This man started caping for one group in the Caribbean. Somehow his ass ended up in Europe. Talking about, I've been around the world. They're good. And by the way, I've been around the world. And I'm going to tell you, the first thing that I notice when I go around the world is nobody likes black Americans. They may dress like us, walk like us, talk like us, and they're going to say the N-word soon as your ass ain't in the place. Hell, a lot of them will say it while you there. Don't let me tell you how many times I heard somebody saying the N-word when I was traveling. So that right there is a prime example of somebody who saw. That's why we call you a Tether sympathizer and you off code. Because you're dealing with open enemies that you're sitting there having an open door relationship with. That ain't how we get down. Hell no. Listen to this right here, family. Even further, why is it a problem if black Americans are delineating when he's sitting there right there saying, I mean, we do deal with some stuff. This ain't nothing but the Tether version of John Lewis.
When I was in England, like the diaspora showed me real love, like, you know what I'm saying? More love than a lot of people I grew up with and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, that's just not my agenda, but it's just like my whole thing is this: as soon as y'all don't like what somebody's preaching, and it's not even no disrespect to the FBA community, right? Because I could say I'm FBA, or he could, or a person down the block could say the FBA because they was born in America, right? Or they could just be like, I'm African American, bro. They don't have to say they're FBA. They'd be like, I'm African American. I'm Black American. I'm from here.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, here we go, family. You don't want nobody saying FBA. There you go, my brothers and sisters. It took this man almost 3 minutes to get to the goddamn point. You don't like the term FBA because FBA is about delineation, regulation, and separation. That's why your ass is talking right now. This is another message brought to you by another COON trying to get black folks to be friends. Oh, you know, you can just call yourself whatever. I mean, you ain't got to be FBA. Everybody's mad at FBA because they can't be FBA, family. Let me ask y'all a question in the chat. Do y'all think if these individuals could be called FBA, do you think they'd be so mad right now? Do you think they'd be making these videos right now? I got a sneaky suspicion. The same way I'm looking at this man's hairline. I don't know yet. We'll wait till the facts come out. We'll make the facts come out when the hats come off. Family, I got a sneaky suspicion that he's just another person who wants to still be African American. And he's upset. Do y'all think these people will be talking like this if somebody said, okay, you can be FBA? This is the, I can't get my ass in the club. That's what it is. You one of them broke dudes outside in the rain, can't get in the club. The bouncer done threw your ass out. And now you sitting there upset. You mad because you can't be a foundational Black American. Because the only people who can be a foundational Black American are people who were born foundational Black Americans. Let's go.
Whatever. But don't, just because you don't agree with somebody says, about their views on how we interact with one another as black people. That doesn't make them a tether. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is my whole thing. Tariq Nasheed was just in Africa, bro. I ain't call him a tether because he was the African.
No, because Tariq was over there standing on FBA business. You ain't gonna sit there and flodge on us, partner. Hell no. Tariq was over there standing on business. No different if any of us travel the world. FBA, we influence the world, and FBA can travel the world. So when we go places and we standing on FBA business and we take our lineage everywhere we at, don't be mad. What it really is, fam, is they wish that we would go over to these places and give them our culture for free. That's what this is about. I want y'all to hear all the little sneaky stuff this man's saying. What he's really trying to say is that y'all go to all these different places and you're not giving us your culture for free. If Tariq went over there and Tariq said, here's FBA culture, y'all can have it, they'd be over there with the pom-poms. They'd be so happy. They were mad that Tariq went over there and stood on FBA business right over in Africa. The same way a lot of us have stood on FBA business no matter where we go. Because y'all know, FBA, we do travel the globe. So if a foundational Black American brother or sister goes over to the Caribbean, if a foundational Black American brother or sister goes up into Asia, goes into Europe, it don't matter because we bring an FBA with us and you can't have none. This is all about you being mad that you can't get our culture for free. And the fact that you can't get our culture for free, you mad at me. Yeah, and you're going to stay mad because we're going to stay delineating and we're going to stay regulating. That's what it's all about. See, y'all want y'all to notice something. Listen now, listen. Tariq went over there and stood on FBA business. He was tweeting FBA. This man went over to England and said that they loved him over there. You see the difference? You see the difference, fam? You see when a certified goes places, we bring the culture with us and stand on business. And when this counterfeit dude right here, he goes over somewhere, he's over there saying, there ain't no racism over there. There ain't no racism. There's no racism in England. There's no racism in the place that all of the races here in America come from. Are you kidding me? Hell no. Proceed, family.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know, and y'all really don't even know. And I fuck with Tariq. I used to read his books, but y'all don't really know this man personally. I just know him from online. I don't know.
I met him personally. I know. Oh, but boy, they hate Black Alpha. Boy, they don't like me. Boy, I'm gonna tell you right now. Shout out to all of the haters, boy. What Shouty Low say? Big up to all my haters. Actually, I do know the brother, and he's an honorable brother. Now, I know tethers don't know the term honorable. I know fleers don't know honor because there's no honor amongst fleas. Remember they said no honor amongst thieves? We're going to change that, family. There's no honor amongst fleas. Boy, that's funny. Somebody make me a meme. If you can make me a meme of that and you can send that to me on Twitter, I'll post it before the show's over. There's no honor amongst fleas. That's the difference. See, they don't like the fact that FBA are honorable brothers and sisters. Tariq is an honorable brother. You are all honorable, brother. All 2K that we got in here, we're honorable. There ain't nothing honorable about jumping over fences. There's nothing honorable about caping for people who jump over fences. And there's nothing honorable about people who cannot simply just say colonizer. They have to say colonizer. So I'm not surprised that people who say colonizer aren't too honorable. I know, bro, and I know all my brothers and sisters. And let me tell you about us. We the same people that you see online, that you see offline. What you think? It's some game that we playing? What you think? We flip-flopping? No. The only flip-flops are them damn shoes on your feet with your ashy-ass toenails. That's the only thing. FBA honorable brothers and sisters, we stand on principle. And if we do travel the planet, guarantee we taking FBA with us. You can't do that. Proceed, family. This is what we talking about with these fleers.
What he do in his spare time? Nothing. His wife is not even FBA. I don't get y'all, bro. Like, I'm just saying, every time y'all get mad about what somebody says, they're tether or.
Yes, she is. And why are you worrying about another man's wife? I'm not talking about your husband. Why are you worrying about what another man got going on? I'm not talking about your boyfriend. What's going on here? And who the hell are you to classify what is and what ain't? Remember, you're an African American. You're an African American. Why are you speaking about somebody else's family? I could sit there and talk about you and say that your boyfriend and your boyfriend that you're cheating on your other boyfriend with, I think they all some damn Haitians if you really want to go there. So when we sit here and we talk about foundational Black American business, you need to go ahead and flee your way out. How about that?
Adult, meaningful conversation, bro. We can agree to disagree. Yeah, I'm Black American, 100%. But at the same time, I just don't share a lot of the same ideas. I share some of the same ideas as FBA because I agree we do need to protect our lineage, but I'm not going on the hate train. That's just my thing. Next this question, bro.
No, your thing is caping for tethers and colonizers. That's your thing. And if that's your thing, have your thing. We got our own thing. Trust me when I tell you that. It's funny, family. These people always hating on another man. Don't hate on my brother. Don't hate on my sister. You need to hate on the person in the mirror, because the person in the mirror is the person who's worrying about somebody else. Nobody's in here talking about your colonizer or that you stay on your kneecaps. I didn't talk about that. I will. We can go there. No one's going to sit here and talk about how that was nothing more than a I'm broke, I can't be nothing, and I'm watching another man shine. I say this all the time. So much love and respect to all the foundational Black American mothers out there. And why do I say that, family? Because foundational Black American mothers raised foundational Black American brothers and sisters, sons and daughters that don't worry about other people. So basically, our parents beat their parents because their parents raised little fleers who are worrying about other men's families, who worried about other men's lives, and worry about what other men are doing. Our parents worried about just us getting to the bag. So our parents raised us to get money. Their parents raised them to worry about what FBA is doing. You see the difference? That's why we out here getting to it, and that's why they out here crashing out. Fam, this is another example of foundational Black American obsessive disorder. These people are obsessed with us for a lot of reasons. Remember when they should basically tell us, fam, we had no power and Black Americans didn't have anything going and we should basically just be regular schmegular folks? What we've ended up doing, brothers and sisters, is putting an end to all of that. And one thing that delineation has proven to us is that we are the main characters. Everybody getting mad at foundational Black Americans for being the main characters, but everybody else treats us like the main characters. And if we got main character energy, don't be upset about it. Step your game up. That's how we was raised. We was raised to get to it. We was raised to stand on business. We were raised to handle our own, not to worry about the next person. And when I tell y'all these individuals are always talking about FBA and what we got going on, fam, every day you see something like this right here. Look at this. We're not making this up, brothers and sisters. This is real. Watch.
Let me educate you.
Black Americans.
Black Americans.
With American Black people.
In Black Americans.
Black Americans.
That Black Americans. Black Americans.
Bro, let me educate you.
Black Americans.
Black Americans.
With American Black people.
In Black Americans.
Black Americans.
That Black Americans. Black Americans.
Get a life. Get a life. Straight up and down, family. Y'all see why they worrying about brothers and sisters who standing on principle, fam? You see why they so upset right there, brothers and sisters? That's all they got going. Still worrying about FBA. Look at that. Every day, 24/7. 365. That's all they doing. They're sitting there talking about foundational Black Americans because, family, we got what they want. And when I say what they want, I'm talking about everything. Think about everything that foundational Black Americans are doing. And I promise y'all, the tethers want all of it, every last piece. And how do you know? It's because of that right there. 24/7, these people are always worrying about FBA. And when you really get to the point, you got to really think deeper. And when I say you got to think deeper, fam, what I mean by that is this. Do you realize that we are the only people on the planet Earth that people fight us to be included in their culture? Think about that, family. Think about that. Everybody is trying to fight Black Americans so Black Americans can identify with them. We're simply saying we don't identify with them. Where does this all go and where does it stem from? It stems from the fact that all of them want us to identify with their culture. You know, the same people who sell each other out, the same people who steal from each other, the same people who disrespect one another. They're so obsessed with Black Americans being a part of their culture when foundational Black Americans ain't got nothing to do with their culture. That same energy could be used, on your homeland. That same energy could be used, fixing all your haterade. That same energy could be used elsewhere. And this campaign of hating on FBA takes these people to exactly where you thought they would be. Look at this, fam. As we further go down the list, look at all these people and how much these individuals are hating on foundational Black Americans. Watch this.
It's really just the FBI. I'm now 100% confident that this is not our fight. We're not going on the front lines. It's manufactured by bots in the CIA.
We need to talk about the rise in Black American nationalism and the Black American nationalist to white supremacist pipeline. Yes, white supremacist. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the rise of like the FBA movement / the anti-Black immigrant sentiment that I've seen lately on social media.
FBA ideology is very dangerous because while it claims to be pro-Black American, it is aggressively pro-American.
If you're African American, if you're Black American, whatever you want to be called, and you promote the FBA, hey, I'm Native American, I'm Indigenous American. If you promote that rhetoric, right, you are quite literally of the devil. Like, I promise you, I believe if the devil was right here in front of me right now, he would be telling me, oh my God, you're better than them. You're not like those Black people.
Hey, my name is CJ, and I'm here to talk about FBAs.
The whole Solon FBA thing was so cool, and so y'all started getting xenophobic with it.
Black Americans are beginning to use racism in the same.
This whole, I'm a native, we're indigenous, we ain't from Africa. We don't see how that's a whole CIA thing.
So I've seen quite a few videos where you had these FBA clowns.
FBA is really just the FBI.
I'm now 100% confident that this.
Think about that, fam. Listen to all these foreign accents, brothers and sisters. Listen to all of these folks who ain't ever gonna be over here in America. Y'all see this? Boy, the hate is real, ain't it? Damn, the jealousy is strong. The jealousy popping through the screen. That's what these people feel about us. So it goes to show y'all, where does this stem from? There's two things. First off, let me say this, y'all. Ain't it good sitting back and watching FBA blow up? Ain't it, fam? Because we all been here since day one. Have y'all seen how much of an explosion foundational Black Americans have had? Y'all see how much is driving these people insane? They thought FBA would be something that'll go by the wayside. By the way, y'all notice all these people who say those things about FBA, they don't never say those things about, I don't know, Black Lives Matter, the Democratic Party, all the people who are clearly working for agencies, they don't say nothing about it. If you ever want to know who the real agent is, it's the people who don't say nothing about the real agents. If you come around here and you hear a Black person say delineating and you say that's agent talk, but you ain't said nothing about Black Lives Matter, you're the agent. If you come around here and you see foundational Black Americans regulating, you say that's agent, but you don't say nothing about the Democrats paying people off, then you're the agent. If you're always worrying about what FBA is doing, but you ain't saying nothing about people who are known and exposed, fam, we sat here and showed you how Pan-Africanism has always been an asset to the dominant society. They don't say nothing about that, though. See, what they're doing is that they're doing op projection. And whenever they do projection, we do rejection, and we send that stuff right back at their ass. That's what they don't like about us. We got something for everything they do. You come up with it, we gonna handle it. You put it up, we gonna knock it down. And we gonna send your ass right on back to where you came from. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, we represent the core of the grassroots. That's what people have to understand. This is what people know, is that we have a lineage. And it's 50 million of us. Inside of our lineage, we have the regulators. Inside of the regulators, you got the certifieds. So when you talk about all of that, brothers and sisters, that's making people who can't get nothing off the ground mad. And when they can't get nothing off the ground, you start seeing things like that right there. Family, that's what we're talking about. For everybody who seems to have all these problems with foundational Black Americans, they sure always seem to know how to run some type of BS game where they want to come up with their own versions of it. That right there is some real agent stuff. The fact that they'll come out here, they'll say all these things about foundational Black Americans, and then next thing you know, family, they'll come out and say, well, you know, I represent this right here. Well, the fact that you see that right there, that tells you a lot about who's really running everything. That tells you a lot about who's really got it made. That tells you a lot about who the ops are. Now what you're seeing, fam, is these people trying to take foundational Black American talking points and spin it in their own direction for their own beneficial gain. That's what it's really about. Now you're starting to see these people pop up out of the woods and say these things where they support this and they support that. But in reality, what it really is, you don't support these things. You're mad at foundational Black Americans because we don't support them. That's what it is, y'all. And now that we know that they've been on this play, and then there's been this whole big game out here with these individuals trying to take what foundational Black Americans have created. Let me show y'all this right here. This is what I mean. Y'all got to watch these people who pop out. Remember, anytime someone says FBA is an agent group, that person who said it is the agent. Anytime someone says FBA is xenophobic, the person who said it is xenophobic. Anytime they say FBA is mad and angry, they're the mad and angry ones. As a matter of fact, family, you see a hell of a lot of these AT&Ts, angry TikTok tethers. And these angry TikTok tethers, AT&Ts, they have these 24-hour conversations about us, but they don't have 24-hour, they don't have 2 seconds of time talking about their homeland. Watch this right here, family. All of the angry TikTok tethers be out there and they be having these conversations and we be on it. Watch this.
Actual question. FBA and immigrants. Is it possible to find unity or is division unavoidable?
That's an interesting question. It's possible, but I guess Trump got to go down first. But I mean, that's just my opinion because I see FBA as a divider amongst my people. I'm African American, and I'm also Black American, and FBA don't own the term.
Wait a minute.
There goes another one, fam. There goes another one. These people don't want to let go of African. Here we go, fam. I'm an African American.
Hold on. Let's slow walk that for a minute, Ron. Is it okay if I call you Ron?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Ron. So let me ask you something. You say you African American?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any immigrants in your background? Not trying to do a lineage check. I just want to see where your man is so I can try to, see how you might be feeling the way you feel or thinking the way you think. Because you said you African American and Black American. So what are you separating the two?
No, I'm not separating the two.
So you Black American. Which one do you prefer to be labeled as?
They one and the same.
Correct. Okay, because you said both. That's why I'm asking you.
And what to answer your question, they're one and the same.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I guess what I'm saying is FBA to me are working for white supremacy. They talking points is not to unite our race, and a lot of FBAs won't deny their African heritage, but they want to say they indigenous to America and they were not under the forces of white supremacy, but they only existence in 2026 or 2025, if you will, is to divide. And they're only working for white supremacy because they're Trump supporters seeking a reparation from somebody.
Fam, remember, everything they say about us applies to them. So he's really talking about himself. He's just too ignorant to know it.
Who don't care about them. So they're bamboozled.
So let me ask you something before I before I go to the next guest. So you say who are they working with?
White supremacy. They're working for the agenda.
Actual question. FBA and immigrants. Is it possible to find unity or is division unavoidable?
Stop right there. First off, that question, I ain't never gonna ask that question. See, that's what I'm talking about. The interview with the tether, interview with the op. You tell me, is it unavoidable? I'm not asking none of that. None of that. Fam, you already know the answer. Why are we going to sit there and just deal with this consistently? You see how she let him talk? She asked him a question. She gave him an interview. And the first thing he did was spew out lies about Black Americans, foundationals. Do you notice that? That's why we don't sit there and have these interviews with these ops. I don't know about anybody else, but I can tell somebody very quickly based on their energy and their demeanor and the persona and the behavior. Are they on op time or are they riding with us? This thing about telling who's who, like it's some complex game, no the hell it ain't. You could already tell by the way dude was stuttering what type of time he was on. That's why if you ever hear me, Black Alpha, I'm like, hey, what's up, homie? You Black Alpha, you tether. We ain't even gonna let him get it all the way out. Soon, let me tell you, as soon as I hear the I'm checking them. And then when we check them, we throw them to the trash and we'll bring back the next one and we'll do the same thing. That's how you handle business if you're really standing on it. I want y'all to notice, we done played 5 videos already. 6, 7, 8 different people, all telling the same lies, don't even know each other. Y'all notice that right there? You see the difference between us and them, right? The fact that these individuals are just saying anything that they can come up with because they know foundational Black Americans run the yard. And when you run the yard, family, there's a lot of jealousy that come along with it. You're dealing with the jealousy from the tether community that will never go away. You name the tether, the TOCs, the tethers of color. You name the tethers, the AT&Ts, the angry TikTok tethers, or the angry Twitter tethers. It'll never go away. The jealousy is not going to stop. I've never seen anybody be cured of jealousy. That's why jealousy is the worst trait to have. is because it never goes away. If anything, it only magnifies itself, especially when foundational Black Americans keep on blowing up the way we do it. The way foundational Black Americans are getting stronger and stronger, more and more on code. It don't go away. So all these people thinking they're going to have a conversation and we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. There ain't no middle. The same way there's no middle to meet with these people is the same way we cannot be divided from something that we were never connected to. Let's just say what the hell it is, brothers and sisters. We ain't connected to these people, so therefore there ain't no division. How the hell am I going to be divided with somebody that lives on the other side of the earth? How the hell can I be from a place that I've never been to? Man, we can get overcomplicated or we can just get straight to the point. You ain't no damn African because your ass is from America. Case closed. Simple as that. I know they want to overcomplicate it. They twisting it. I'm an African American. I'm a Black American. I'm a this. Your ass is either a tether or a tether sympathizer. Bottom line. And when I tell y'all that that's what these people are on, the reason why is because everybody wants our spot. Everybody wants our place. Everybody wants what we have. Everybody's trying to attain what we've already attained. Two things that Black Americans have that everybody wants: citizenship, and with that, building this nation, because that comes to reparations. Reparations is nothing more than a signal that got boosted in the sky. What you thought was going to happen, though, brothers and sisters? I think a lot of people thought that we was going to have this delineation movement with reparations, and that was just going to be it. I knew back then, I said, let me tell you something. When Black Americans get on code and we stand on certified business for reparations, everybody's going to start acting up. And notice, y'all, soon as we start talking about reparations, boom, reparations is nothing more than a lottery ticket. Y'all know the stories. You ever look at the documentaries about people who win the lottery? And what did they say, family? Damn near, they got to go into hiding. Why? It's because when you win the lottery, you get a bunch of third cousins, fifth uncles, 17th aunties, people you've never seen before. Foundational Black Americans, we started getting reparations. Next thing you know, the door that ain't knocked in a long time, a damn tether pull up. We brothers now, right? Doorbell rang. Ding dong. Hey, brother, I want to be Black now. I wasn't Black yesterday. My colonizer said I could be. Y'all notice that? Soon as we started popping with reparations, this is when all this stuff kicked off. Everybody want to talk about a diaspora war. How come there wasn't no damn diaspora war when foundational Black Americans weren't talking about reparations? When we ain't mentioned reparations, there was no war. You ain't hear xenophobic. You ain't hear a hate group. You ain't heard none of that slander that they say towards us until we start talking about reparations because they want our money. And they've been having all these backdoor ways to get our money. And we've been telling them, you ain't going to get $1 from us. You ain't going to get a penny from us. And that pisses them off because they want us to say, here's the money, y'all can have it. We say, here's that, and you can have that back in your homeland. Brothers and sisters, look what they've been doing. Oh, man, I'm going to put it to you right now. We all know what happened with the African Union this summer. Now let me show y'all what they're doing after they thought all the dust settled, all the smoke cleared. They went back to it, fam, and here you go. Ghana seeks to have the UN declare the transatlantic slave trade as one of the greatest crimes against humanity. Yes, the hell they did, family. I showed you right here. Dr. Kubar Vasquez is in full support of this new African Union push for reparations. Yep. You see it even further. African leaders, they go right there and they demand reparations for the slave trade and colonialism. Yep, something that they were fully participants in. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all watch this. This is what it's been all about.
Greetings to all Africans at home and across the global African family. And this is United States of Africa TV. My name is Akosua Prempe and I am broadcasting from the United States of Africa. In today's important broadcast, we bring you a powerful update from the African Union Summit, where
United States of Africa?
President John Dramani Mahama, serving as the African Union champion for reparations, has outlined Africa's next major diplomatic move at the United Nations. Ghana, with the endorsement of the African Union, is leading a historic effort to table a resolution declaring the trafficking in enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement as the gravest crime against humanity. This is not just about history. This is about truth, justice, recognition, and the future of Africa and the African diaspora. The resolution seeks global acknowledgement of the transatlantic slave trade as a foundational injustice that continues to shape...
What? Whoa. It shapes it as a what injustice? Oh, I told y'all, brothers and sisters, I had one for you today. Oh, I told you we was about to go full speed regulating It shapes it as a foundational what? Everywhere you look.
Seeks global acknowledgement of the transatlantic slave trade as a foundational injustice that continues to shape structural inequality, racial discrimination, and economic disparity in today's world. President Mahama emphasized that this initiative is not directed at any nation, but toward moral courage, reconciliation, and a united continental voice. With Africa and CARICOM now speaking with one voice, diplomatic engagements are underway in New York to build global...
With Africa and CARICOM? But I just sat there and seen you say the United States of Africa. And then you said foundation. But I don't see no foundational Black Americans who built the United States of America in any of this. Family, they're having reparation summits and committees without Black Americans because they want to take your bag. Listen to this, fam. This is everything that we exposed this summer. This is why you got people running around here talking about DAFA. This is why you got people running around here talking about FBA is xenophobic. This is why right here, CARICOM is for Caribbeans. And by the way, you got Black people here in America who are part of CARICOM. Yep, there you go, family. Let's get to it.
And a united continental voice. With Africa and CARICOM now speaking with one voice, diplomatic engagements are underway in New York to build global consensus before the resolution is formally tabled at the United Nations General Assembly. This moment could mark a turning point in how Africa positions itself in the emerging global order, no longer as a silent victim, but as a united force demanding truth and justice. Before we go into the full details of this historic press conference, I encourage you to subscribe to United States of Africa TV.
Nope, won't be doing that. There you go. There it is. You see it, fam. Look how quick things turn, family. You see that, brothers and sisters? Now you got these people doing what they were doing this summer. We exposed them. We exposed them all. Remember that Queen Atua chick that I broke down and highlighted? This person is in Atlanta right now. She's writing laws to bring Africans over here. These people are basically breaking all types of barriers that, quite frankly, are illegal, that they shouldn't even be allowed to do. But you got all these people bringing them on in. This is what happened. They went to the United Nations and they said, we're going to come up with this reparations plan. And we're going to have it exclusively for the diaspora. These are diaspora reparations that they tried to use Black Americans' name for so they can leech off of us. When FBA pushed back and said, hell to the no, they spun the block and they came back. This is why Dr. Kubar Vasquez out of nowhere popped up and started getting on code with the African Union. Remember, Dr. Kubar is the guy who went over there to Ghana to go get his citizenship. Who are the main people pushing this? Ghana. Who went over to Ghana? Kamala Harris. Who else went over to Ghana? Joe Biden. The United States government is tied into that, and they've been trying to make the president of Ghana some type of reparations hero. The main play is to not give FBA reparations. If they can, they want to give reparations to Africa so they can say, hey, we did it for everybody. Why do you think Joe Biden went over there and he gave them $50 billion on something completely unrelated? And then when he did that, he said, we want to apologize for chattel slavery. Why? And guess what the African did? He didn't say, oh, chattel slavery had nothing to do with me. That was for the Black people in America. No, Africans didn't do that. Africans didn't say, hey, this money has nothing to do with chattel slavery because we sold slaves. Nope, they didn't say that. You know what the African did when Joe Biden said, here's billions of dollars and I'm going to give it to you based on chattel slavery? The African shook hands and said, thank you for the money, brother. Thank you. It was so hard what happened to us with the transatlantic slave trade, knowing damn well it had have nothing to do with them. You see what we saying? Furthermore, fam, oh, they went there. Oh, they went there. I'm going to show y'all. We're going to go all the way live. Fam, these individuals think they slick, and FBA been on it real present. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. This is who's over there, fam. They got all types of heads of states. UN people are over there. They plugged in very good over there, y'all. They super plugged in, to be matter of fact. Look at them over there plugged in with the dominant society and their favorite people. Any reparations that you see that is rooted in the diaspora, I promise you, has nothing but a bunch of W's around it, because they know that they can sabotage all the reparations. And once they sabotage the reparations, the first thing they're going to do, family, is say, this is for Africa. There it is. There it goes. But watch this, fam. Even furthermore, these individuals can't get nothing past foundational Black Americans. But I'm going to show y'all some of the things that just popped off within the last few hours, actually, and how these individuals are trying to push it. Now, I want you to be cautious of all these people who pop up and they start talking about reparations for us. That's what's going to happen, fam. There's been a lot of discourse, a lot of things going on. Slowly, if y'all notice, reparations is starting to go back into the conversation. A lot of people got hush-hush about reparations because they was trying to be real sneaky about it. Now you're starting to see reparations pop up even furthermore. And the more you see reparations pop up, the more you're going to see these individuals pop up. And the more you see these individuals pop up, they focus on our money. Look at this. This dude right here is one of the biggest FBA haters on the planet. And what
slavery to be recognized as a crime against humanity, that 100% opens the door for reparations for everybody. And the tweet comes from the official account of the Ghanaian Foreign Ministry. So there it is. In March of this year, which is next month, Ghana is going to come to the UN General Assembly in New York, and it's going to start a petition, put in a resolution to have slavery seen as a crime against humanity. And if it's voted for, that opens the door for reparations for everybody. It's also important to note that this is one of the reasons why the Heritage Foundation paid Tariq Nasheed to start the FBA movement, because they knew now FBAs, you're not African, you're native. You basically...
What? What the hell they got to do, fam? Y'all see that? See how they threw us in there? This is why Black Americans at FBA were paid. Fam, let me tell you what this guy is trying to say. I'm going to tell you what he's trying to say. What this man is trying to say is that foundational Black Americans were started so we can stop reparations from going to Africa. When everybody knows Africa ain't give a damn about reparations until foundational Black Americans got it popping. Listen one more time, y'all. Oh, we got it. Receipts dropping in.
This is one of the reasons why the Heritage Foundation paid Tariq Nasheed to start the FBA movement, because they knew now FBAs, you're not African, you're native. You basically talked yourself out of reparations.
No, we didn't. Hell no. It's exactly what we want it to be. Our reparations are over here for us, and you can have whatever the hell you want. That's the difference. Don't get it tangled and twisted, fam. Don't listen to all that. They're trying to make it look like, well, since y'all want to be indigenous Black Americans, you're going to have to choose. They're trying to make it look like we got to choose, family. Okay, so we got to be African so we can get in on their reparations, or we got to be indigenous Black Americans. Nah, we indigenous Black Americans foundational, and we don't give a damn about y'all reparations. How about that? How about that, family? You see how they're trying to play the game here. And this is why we ain't sharing. This is why we've been standing on the business we've been standing on, because I'm telling you right now, go ahead and be a part of all that, and it's to strip away. So all those people who want to share reparations, be down with the diaspora, hell no. I told you before, I'll say it again, fam. Africa will pick up weapons before they'll share a dollar with Black Americans. I'm going to tell you right now, Africa will pick up weapons against Africa before they'll share reparations. This was all created to undercut and undermine our reparations. How do you know? It's because they didn't get nothing popping until we did. Let's make this clear. Foundational Black Americans, right here, indigenous Black Americans, certified Black Americans, we are the ones who got reparations popping. Nobody got reparations booming until we did. Now everybody got a bootleg version. They got bootleg terms where they're trying to steal and hijack FBA. They got bootleg reparations committees, bootleg reparations task force. Remember at first they was putting all the Africans and all the Jamaicans and Haitians on our reparations committees. We got rid of all that. Soon as that popped off, they ran to the United Nations to get all that stuff. You see what we saying, fam? We know exactly who these people are, and it ain't gonna bubble. No. Well, let me show y'all this. Even further, these people out there, and they trying to make it look like they got something going, but they don't. Watch this right here.
African heads of state have just adopted a landmark resolution formally recognizing slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, forced deportation, and colonialism as crimes against humanity and acts of genocide against African people. And
notice he said forced deportation. Fam, let me ask y'all a question. Does deportation have anything to do with our reparations claim? Do we sit there and say we want cash payments, our land back, and to stop deportation? This sounds very, very friendly to Latinos. This is what this sounds like, fam. I'm going to connect these dots here in a minute. But notice, y'all, they threw in forced deportation. Interesting.
formally recognizing slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, forced deportation, and colonialism as crimes against humanity and acts of genocide against African people. And today we're going to discuss what this means going forward and what we can do as a people to be a part of the fight to making sure that this comes to life to help our people down the pipeline. Okay, but before I go any further, listen, if you're someone who's thinking what's coming down the pipeline for us as a people, okay? So let's go. Now, this resolution marks a fundamental shift. This shift goes from seeking apologies to demanding accountability and reparatory justice.
There you go, right there, a shift. Remember, y'all, all their old reparations was always about apologies. Now they're out there talking about getting paid. They didn't talk about getting paid until we did. Fam, they were not out here talking about getting money until Black Americans started saying, oh, reparations is about cash. Reparations is about getting the bag. Now, out of nowhere, fam, they want to get the bag. They were not talking about getting money for their reparations claim. Every reparations claim that came from the diaspora was all about getting hugs and apologies. Truth and reconciliation. That's what it was really about. Now, out of nowhere, y'all, they saying, no, we want money. There's been a shift. He just sat there and told you. He just sat there and told you, fam, that they shifted. Why the sudden change to where they want cash payments all of a sudden? Interesting.
Justice for the enduring, systematically executed impacts of colonialism and slavery. So, yes, you guys heard me correctly. We are going down the line to start demanding reparations. The African heads of state said, now let's govern ourselves properly. Let's formally come together and say this was wrong. This hasn't been done in history. They've been trying to sweep it under the rug and say, oh, it was just colonialism. But now they are changing the term to genocide because that will help us to get help in the eyes of the UN to take our message to a higher level, even though they already knew what was going on and was a part of it as well. But you know how the formalities go, and they want you to go a certain way in order to get certain things done. So this is a step in the right direction for them to not have any more excuses when it comes to us demanding what is rightfully owed to us. From former colonial powers for centuries of exploitation, resource theft, and underdevelopment. And by classifying this as a genocide rather than just exploitation, the AU essentially elevates the severity of the crimes that were committed against us as a people, asserting the fact that these actions were intended to destroy African societies.
Stop. And what about the Africans who willingly participated in all this? Funny they leave that out, though, don't they? Fam, don't they always leave that out? It makes no sense, and I'm going to tell you why it ain't going to go nowhere. Because everything that they're saying right now, you could apply to Africa. Africa right now has genocides that are going on in Africa by Africa and their colonizers. So what does that tell you? How are you going to go to the UN and try to get all this? That sixth region stuff is about to pop back off, family. That sixth region stuff is going to pop back off. And I'm telling you right now, we got to watch these people very, very carefully. We got to watch these people very carefully, fam, because that's been the play. The play has always been to give your reparations to the people you know are docile and submissive. Africans will take $5 for reparations. I'm going to tell you right now, you would have the most trashy reparations ever if they give it to Africa. And if you're a supremacist, that's exactly what you want to do. The supremacists want to give it. Fam, you notice the pushback with us? And look at the lack of pushback with them. You notice this, family? You don't really see too much pushback when it comes to these individuals. This is all working in conjunction with the dominant society, in particular, the liberals and the Democrats. The Democrats understand that reparations here in the United States of America is whooping they ass. Kamala Harris, when she said she's not going to do nothing for Black people specifically, that ruined her career. Barack Obama, when he did everything for everybody except for Black Americans, that ruined his career. Stacey Abrams, I had seen a brother roll up on her and say, hey, what you feel about reparations? She rolled to get away from them. They know that reparations pops up all the time. We pulling back different interviews from 10, 15 years ago and saying, what's your position on reparations? Do you understand that reparations has been the absolute worst thing to happen to the Democratic establishment? Why? It's because the Democratic establishment, they now have to answer questions that they know they don't have answers for. So therefore now they want to say, we did do reparations for Africans. We did do reparations for Jamaicans. We gave it to them. I mean, all they took was some deodorant. They took them some goddamn $2, a plate of goddamn jollof, some fufu, and then they got the hell out the way. And then they start to fight each other. That's what they want to do to us. Let me proceed with this, fam. Watch exactly what we mean by these people are undercover.
And cultures. Now, they've written about this in the past. They've bragged about what they were trying to do. They've documented this throughout history to blatantly put it in our face and say, hey, we intentionally sabotaged what you guys were trying to do as a people. Another important move that has come from this resolution is they are demanding the return of the artifacts that were stolen from the continent of Africa, from various countries that are over here, that are currently being held in Western museums as we speak. So they've stolen so much from the past from over here, and they have them in museums over in a lot of the countries in the Western world. So they are making money to this day off of the artifacts that have been taken from our ancestors over here on the ground. Now, this also signifies a change in the global diplomatic strategy when it comes to what the AU is trying to do.
Listen, here we go. Listen to this carefully, brothers and sisters. Global talk.
As I mentioned, the AU is shifting from apologies to action. The AU is moving beyond symbolic gestures and focusing on tangible, material resolutions and literally pushing the UN for recognition of these
tangibles. Fam, so within 3 minutes, you already heard foundational and tangible. Who they get that from? Who they get foundation from? Who they get tangibles from? Where they getting all this cash payments from? Remember, he just sat there and told you that it was apologies they used to want. Why you want apologies for 30 years, and as soon as we pop up, now you want some money? Could it be because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said we coming to Washington to get our check? Now they're saying they want their check? Because if they get a check, they can try to take it away from us? Here we go.
Crimes that have been committed against humanity. And one of the main countries that's leading this right now is, of course, the country of Ghana. We're going to always continue to show Ghana its love and its support for paving the way to help Pan-Africanism and for us to try and come back home over here to the continent of Africa. Another
watch right here, fam. Here's another point.
thing this move helps people to realize is there is a united move for us to start really coming together. There's a continental approach to addressing the lasting effects of the colonial oppression that we've been dealing with. There's a push. There's so many people who think badly about the leaders over here on the ground. They think that a lot of our leaders are just puppets. We may have some leaders who are puppets, yes, but there's a lot of people on the ground over here who understand what's really going on. They have a full understanding of the world. They're starting to see things for themselves, and they've went to school. They've got an education, and they understand what's really going on now.
They got an education from where? Where are they educated from, brother? Tell us where they educated at, because I promise you one thing, that education is going to be wherever the W is, because that's who you love, and that's who y'all run to whenever things go bad. Family, that right there is what we're talking about. This is why foundational Black Americans been standing on our own business, y'all. If you ever needed a reason for delineation, regulate, separate, there they go. There they go right there. See, we talked about that this summer, and we knew we'd be right back here. Next month, which will be here in about 2 weeks, next month, they're going to the UN. And they're going to go and try to classify all this. Everything that we're hearing right now is exactly what they're going to try to do so they can move forward with their reparations plan. And here's the kicker. Donald Trump, and everybody knows this, last month, Donald Trump went and he pulled America out of a lot of these different AU summits and AU committees and stuff. Y'all watch this right here. I'm going to show y'all because we in here and we rocking. And it's FBA Friday. Watch this right here, family. This shows you how they're trying to hustle us. And this is what Donald Trump did in response.
United Nations. President Donald Trump has signed a major executive order withdrawing the United States from a controversial United Nations forum that he says promotes a global diversity, equity and inclusion reparations agenda. On January the 7th, 2026, President Donald Trump issued an executive order directing the United States to withdraw from the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent, a body established to elevate issues affecting people of African heritage worldwide. According to US officials, the decision was prompted by what they describe as the forum's advocacy for race-based policies and a global reparations agenda, positions the Trump administration says conflict with the US Constitution's Equal Protection Clause and American values. The administration previously accused the forum of advancing racial grievances and having victim-based social policies. US officials also argued that the UN body violated the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott declared that America will no
14th Amendment, again, remember, the 14th Amendment that the Democrats swear by God belongs to Africans, Jamaicans, and Haitians, and Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans. They're using the 14th Amendment that is for us to also keep America out of this so they can't leech on to us. There's a lot of tricky things going on, but we here though. Let's go.
Equal Protection Clause. State Department spokesperson Tommy Pigott declared that America will no longer lend its credibility to racist organizations. The United States is proudly withdrawing from racist organizations such as this forum. He added, radical activists who embrace DEI ideology and seek to compel the United States to adopt policies mandating race-based wealth redistribution in organizations such as the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent will no longer be entertained. The UN Permanent Forum on...
Right there. That's the key part of this whole briefing. Listen to what they said, family. The people who are trying to push this African descent directly, they pulled us out of that because that right there was the con game.
Redistribution in organizations such as the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent will no longer be entertained. The UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent was set up to address issues including racial inequality, discrimination, and historical injustices. Critics in Washington have taken particular aim at agenda items they claim to go beyond traditional diplomacy, including proposals for financial compensation for descendants of slavery and colonialism, as well as calls for reparatory justice in emerging fields like artificial intelligence. The body had previously argued that only reparatory justice can address what is described as technology-enabled racism in fields such as artificial intelligence. The forum's supporters argue that these discussions are part of a long-running UN effort to confront systemic discrimination and uplift historically marginalized communities, a message that's at odds with the White House's framing. This move is part of a wider rollback of US participation in international institutions, a strategy that has seen Washington exit dozens of global organizations and treaties this week alone. In the same executive action, the Trump administration also pulled the US out of 66 international bodies, including climate, health, human rights, and development organizations that the White House labels as contrary to American interests. Senior officials have defended these decisions, saying that they will refocus US resources on national priorities.
There you go, right there, family. There you go. It's something, right, that we've been sitting here all summer long, and we were exposing the African Union for what it's about. And then they try to spin the block quietly. By the way, Donald Trump did that last month. I want to say it was the 12th of January that happened. Kind of went under the rug because a lot of things were occurring. But we all seen that. And what he did, he pulled us out of this AU thing. And he came up with the reasons why they did it. However, it was a good move. It was a clever move. Because that right there shut down the 6th region. That shut it down. So therefore, that disallowed them from including Black Americans as the 6th region. Right then and there. But let me say this. Donald Trump also pulled us out of this same thing before. Joe Biden put us back in it. Remember that, family. Notice they said there were 66 different people or different organizations with a multitude of different people that they have this working for. Donald Trump pulled us out. Joe Biden stopped it. This is why you got to be cautious about these next elections, because who's to say the Democrats don't try to reinsert this? This wasn't the first time. A lot of people don't know this. Donald Trump withdrew this before during his first administration. Joe Biden came in and he did it. It's no different than the borders. Close the border down, the next guy opens them. Next guy closes them, next guy opens them. They've been going tick for tat, playing pity pat back and forth with placing us into these different people and organizations and summits. So Trump did a slick move. What's good is that right there, now we have 3 years in advance to shut all of that down. But I want y'all to listen to the language. There's something that's occurring very sneakily, and I want everybody to notice this, right? What you're starting to hear now is this African descent. And remember, Dr. Kubar was running around here just last week, and he kept emphasizing Pan-Latino. Family, this runs deeper than just Africans and Jamaicans and Haitians. This African descent AU summit with the 6th region where they include all these people, family, that applies to Latinos as well. They've opened the door for everybody. So when you start putting your FBA lenses on people and you start exposing them, I want you to look further beyond just the Africans. The Africans are spearheading it because, you know, slavery in Africa, African slavery is synonymous. But if you listen to the language and you look at the paperwork, it starts to include places like Mexico. The Bolivian president popped up. How many of you guys remember at the tail end of last year, I played a clip of the Bolivian president who was at the United Nations. He spoke right after the Ghana president. And what did they come up with? The Bolivian president is pushing for reparations. Why? It's because now they're saying Bolivia, technically, they are people of African descent. That opens it up to the world. I want everybody to focus on that. You're going to start to see more people in Latin America start to get on board with this. This is why Dr. Kubar is expanding everything he's saying. It's of my personal belief, me, myself, and I, that Dr. Kubar Vasquez and Pan-Africans are going to start to try to merge with Latinos. That's what you're going to start to see. You already see a bunch of these people running around here, low-key opening the door, low-key saying they down. And I'm going to be honest with you. Shout out to some of the Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, but I'm going to say this. Some of the Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, all that talk about Latinos are part of the 12 tribes and they deserve it as well. Be cautious of that. Be cautious of that. And I want my certifieds to check that. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, I want you to check that because I'm telling you now, the language and the doors and the windows are being cracked open for them to include Latin America. This is why you seen Dr. Kubar was so obsessed with Bad Bunny and he started spewing Pan-Latinoism. That's going to be the next step. Pan-Latinoism. You're going to start seeing a merger of the Pan-Africans and the Latinos. You already are starting to see it now. Now, you know, like I know, like we know that the Latinos have a historical record of anti-blackness. How come Dr. Umar does not mention the historical anti-blackness that comes from the Latin community? You can make the case that the Latino community is more vigorous with their want-to-be W's, so therefore they're more into coming down on people who are dark. They don't even like dark Latinos. So somebody tell me where this is going. This right here, I promise you, my brothers and sisters, this is going to happen and you're going to watch it. You already see it. Hebrew Israelite people saying, well, we can't go in on illegal immigrants. Why? They's a part of the 12 tribes too. Pan-African saying, well, technically they are of African descent. This is why Mexicans out of nowhere start saying things like, we helped y'all in slavery. We had slavery down there. Technically, we got African in us. You see Puerto Ricans saying that. We got African in us. That's going to be the next play. Trust me when I tell you. That's why I told y'all the Bolivian president was popping up and the Bolivian president was saying the same thing. What about all these people start talking about? Fam, you think it's a coincidence that out of nowhere, this thing popped up and started talking about reparations for Somalia? You notice that, fam? Notice, y'all. Watch it and you will see it and you will identify it and you will see clear as day that these individuals want foundational Black American reparations, and eventually everybody who's upset at foundational Black Americans for being who we are going to be the same exact people who are pushing Pan-Latino and Pan-Africanism, and that Pan-Latino and Pan-Africanism is going to be exactly what they use to have an all lives matter reparations. I want everybody to notice this right now. Have you identified the fact that everybody who can be deported is against Black America? Y'all notice this, fam? No, let's go there. Let's say what it really is. Everybody who can be deported from America got a problem with foundational Black Americans. You notice that, fam? If you want to see the ops and the people who got so much issue with Black Americans, just find out who getting their ass deported, and there goes your answer. And who are at the top of the list? The Latinos. Who caping for them? The Pan-Africans. So therefore, you're going to start seeing that. And fam, I ain't got nothing but the facts to put on the table for you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. You think it's a coincidence that out of nowhere, you start seeing stuff like this right here? Look at this Latino guy. Black and Latino reparations. But I want y'all to notice something. He's not just saying Black and Latino reparations. He puts a fist in a globe. He's not talking about Black Americans. He's talking about global, which means Pan-Africans, which means all African reparations matter. Watch.
It's Monday, February 2nd. And first and foremost, I want to say happy Black History Month to all my brothers and sisters from the continent. I hope that this month you feel loved, celebrated, and that we're able to carry the energy for y'all, not just this month, but hopefully, you know, for the whole year and eventually every day of the year, right? Today I want to talk about Latino and Black relations. You know, as we begin this month and we begin to highlight not only Black accomplishment, but Black struggle. I want to input what I have seen, experienced, and been through as a Latino leader in my community. I'm not trying to make this shit about me, but more so I just want to address my people during this time, because I think it's an important subject and topic that we need to come together on. I've been outspoken, obviously, about just the mistreatment of Black people in the United States. My eye-opener to the reality of being a minority in the United States was the death of Trayvon Martin. We were both born in 94, and I remember being a kid and just...
And who unalived Trayvon Martin? What was he? He was one of your folks. Oh, don't listen to these people, brothers and sisters. Oh, don't listen to them. Listen to this, fam. This is how they start opening the door. I'm telling y'all, they're trying to create people of African descent. So now Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Venezuelans and Bolivians are all going to say, well, we're of African descent. All the people who are facing deportation are going to team up to get reparations.
Seeing that and, the impact that it had on me. A lot of my early influences, Black people, and a lot of my most recent and most greatest influences were and have been Black people. And so, how do we as Latinos move, treat, and relate to Black people? Because that is a topic that we need to address. Shabuzi yesterday at the Grammys said, Latinos built this country, and he got a lot of backlash for it, specifically from the Black community, because for one, we're in Black History Month.
There you go. Here comes Shabuzi. Fam, it was way deeper than just getting a Grammy. Look at the Pan-African and the Pan-Latino alliance, fam. Listen, you don't see these people talk like this. Why Shabuzi came out and he was so adamant about helping out Black folks. So adamant about we all on the same page. So adamant about all this. There you go, family.
And two, the United States was largely built by Black people, which is the truth. They were brought to this country, and they built everything that was important in this country, and everything that wasn't was built by immigrants, whether it was the Latinos that were in the surrounding areas, Chinese immigrants, or European immigrants, whatever. But that topic itself made me feel a type of way, because there was a lot of Black people who were kind of talking down on immigrants. And I know that, it's not that's not what is like the focus of that conversation, but it got me thinking. I'm like, why is this happening? And as Latinos, we have to look inward and say, why do Black people have conflicting feelings, negative perspective, because that is true as well, toward Latinos. And there is a big wound there. Racism doesn't stop at Latino. Just because you're, Mexican, Puerto Rican, whatever, some type of Latino does not mean that racism doesn't exist. It's not just a white thing. It's also it's a worldwide thing. In all spaces, Black people face racism, including ours. And so that was one of my first things, was like, we ain't solved that. I have grown up, I would say, in a more conscious space and just time in society. And, thankfully, it was just different for me. Like, my parents, I'm not saying my dad is like outright racist. And
now he got a cake for his family. I'm not saying that my dad did that, but my dad was kind of like that. But he's not a bad guy. Notice, fam, there's always a caveat whenever they start talking about the racist people in their family. It turns real quick, don't it? Well, my dad said some things a long time ago, but that ain't really how my dad feels. He's doing a lot of splaining for me. But here you go.
It's just like straightforward and blunt, which is, I think, what a lot of us don't really realize back then. It's like, if a Latina wanted to go date a Black, like, they would both get their ass whooped. You know what I mean?
We don't know what you mean, Julio. Hell no. Notice that turned into a Blacks is bad too now. We all bad. Fam, this is what I'm talking about this Pan-African and African descent. See, when you use the term African descent, we naturally think they're meaning Haitians and Jamaicans. No. When they said African descent, They were talking about Haitians, Jamaicans, Bolivians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, because now anybody can just show up and say, hey, I'm of African descent. You see that difference, fam? See, foundational Black Americans, we're saying that we're not of African descent and we are indigenous to the United States of America. All of these people who practice anti-Black American hatred, now they're all raising their hand and saying, well, hold on now. They're giving out reparations at the United Nations for the African Summit. Well, I'm technically that way. It's the same exact way that when you had George Zimmerman unalive Trayvon Martin, since he want to talk about George Zimmerman and he want to talk about Trayvon Martin. Remember, soon as that happened, what's the first thing that George Zimmerman did? They went and found some busted ass photo of some great grandma. And they said, well, technically she's African too. So George Zimmerman is Black. Y'all remember that? Remember, they were trying to make it look like George Zimmerman was a Black man. This is the stuff that gets forgotten, y'all. They were running around here saying George Zimmerman was Black. I had a partner one time. He got pulled over by a Spanish police officer. As soon as my partner was like, hey, hold on now. You pulled me over because I'm Black? The first thing that came from the Spanish police officer is, wait, I'm Black too now. I'm Black, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Black just like you. See, fam, they know how to hop, skip, and jump. See, this is why we delineated. Delineation has also stopped this hopscotch of jumping in and out of Blackness that particularly Latinos do. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Latinos be white all damn day long until you call them out on their racism. Then they turn into, well, technically, I'm of African descent. So this is what that was really about. This is why you're seeing a soft tone coming from people like Dr. Kubar and a lot of them Hebrew Israelites, because now they're starting to feel if we can have African descent, that means everybody gets it except FBA. How do you know? I'm going to show. Look at this, fam. Dr. Kubar was on some real Latino talk. Fam, this ain't the first time that his language has went down Taco Truck Boulevard. Watch this.
Educated Negroes in the chat who are saying she's Latino, not Black. Need I remind you, Latino is not a race. There's no such thing as Latino or Black. Latino is not a race. Latino is an ethnicity. It is a culture. You can be white Latino. You can be Afro Latino. That's exactly why when you fill out the census forms, they ask you to clarify whether you are Black Latino or white Latino, because Latino is not a race. It is an ethnicity and a culture. There are Latinos darker than me.
Latinos darker than him. Could that be the people who say that they want reparations? Could that be that guy right there? Yeah, the Bolivian president. And let me tell you something about him. The Bolivian president, Luis Alberto Arce Catarona, outlined specific mechanisms for addressing historical injustices, proposing the establishment of a dedicated UN commission on reparations, covering slavery, apartheid, genocide, and colonialism. Why is the president from Bolivia talking about reparations for slavery? When the hell has Latin America ever fested up to that? When the hell has Latin America ever talked about all of their racism, their caste system, and the slavery that went on down there? They don't never talk about it. Somehow, out the blue, he starts talking about it. There you go, Bolivian president. He has been a vocal at international forums, particularly the United Nations, where he has called for the establishment of a dedicated commission to address reparations related to slavery. His proposals emphasize the need for effective mechanisms to ensure accountability and restitution for affected communities. Look at that last line, y'all. Affected communities. So now when you start talking about reparations, easily Latinos can say, well, we have affected communities because we are Afro-Latinos of African descent. So all that AU talk, there you go. And guess what, y'all? The president of Bolivia and the president of Ghana, they're good friends. And when they spoke at the United Nations, they spoke right after each other. They went there as a united front. Oh, you ain't know? See, here's the thing. Everybody saw the African Union, and at first they said, okay, Africa. Then you start to see, well, CARICOM's involved. And what is CARICOM? About the Caribbean. So next thing you know, all those Latino places in the Caribbean, they got on board. And now you're seeing them open this all the way up to all of Latin America, all of South America, all of Mesoamerica. They are going to try to push for reparations that include all of Africa as well as all of their Latino counterparts. This is why we delineated, regulated at the perfect damn time. We have separated ourselves from the crowd. You think it's a coincidence that out of nowhere, you start seeing Pan-Africans and Latinos start talking like they've been friends the whole time, where y'all know damn well Latinos ain't never rock with Africans. I showed you things from the border where Africans were crossing across the border right next to Mexicans, and the Mexicans was fighting the Africans as they crossed over into the United States of America. Remember, Dr. Umar Johnson, just a year ago, was so anti-immigration. But then when we pointed out, how can you be anti-immigration and yet you're Pan-African? Pan-African means open borders. African descent means Latinos can come on in. And then eventually, fam, you're going to see them at the United Nations shaking hands. You're going to have Mr. Latino, who's anti-Black American. You're going to have Mr. Pan-African, who's anti-Black American. But they'll team up to come against foundational Black Americans because all they asses can be deported and all they asses stole their reparations agenda from us. This is why they went from hugs and kisses and apologies to now talking about genocide, slavery, and cash payments. I rest my mother case. I ain't done. Check this out, family. When I tell everybody that we have been on them at the Black Alpha Network, I mean that for sure. Look at this. This was the guy giving the speech, and this is the speech that we all seen, and this is why Black Americans is on one.
Slave trade, colonialism, and apartheid were designated as a flagship priority of our union. In line with that decision, I was entrusted with the mandate to serve as African Union champion for reparations. This is not merely a title, it's a solemn obligation to pursue truth, recognition, and justice for our ancestors and for generations yet unborn. At the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025, I announced that Ghana would lead the effort to table a resolution declaring slavery and the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. That commitment marked the beginning of a structured diplomatic and legal process. I directed the Minister of Foreign Affairs to establish a high-level committee to coordinate consultations, refine the legal framework, and prepare a draft text consistent with international law and diplomatic practice. Today, I'm pleased to report significant progress. The initiative is firmly grounded in international law. Slavery is prohibited under international law as a peremptory norm, a jus cogens principle from which no derogation is permitted. The resolution builds upon this legal foundation and rests on three pillars. First is historical accuracy.
Whoa, listen to the words, fam. What?
And rests on three pillars. First is historical. A jus cogens principle from which no derogation is permitted. The resolution builds upon this legal foundation.
Legal foundation. Boy, I'm just saying, maybe I'm just one of them guys, but fam, I sure as hell have heard foundation pop out a hell of a lot from people left and right. I'm just saying, never heard foundation so much until we started talking about who the foundation of America is. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. Look at that. But I want y'all to notice something. I want everybody to follow the shifts, follow the pivots. If you follow the pivot, then you know what's happening. Dr. Umar Johnson was completely against reparations for Black Americans. Hell, still is. Completely against reparations. Family, why was Dr. Umar Johnson going to talk to Black American kids about reparations? I'm just very cautious and very, alert by this. Isn't it funny how when foundational Black Americans started getting the influence that we have, you start to see people trying to talk to our kids? Didn't they have that Kentucky Fried Kyle guy? What's that dude's name? The big heavy dude, looked like about 350 pounds of chew bubblegum. What's that dude's name? Deontay Kyle, ain't that his name? Remember, yeah, Tariq played his video when he was trying to talk to kids and the kids were sleeping and stuff. Y'all seen that. Family, I seen very alarming footage of Dr. Umar doing the same thing. Dr. Umar goes to talk to young black kids about reparations. And that is directly because FBA is influencing the youth. How do I know? It's because every week I get a hell of a lot of messages from young brothers and sisters who are completely down with the movement and tell me how much they love my wave. Shout out to them. Y'all look at this right here. Why is Dr. Umar having an anti-reparations thing talking to young people? Very interesting.
Us reparations before we have built an infrastructure to track that wealth inside of it. All black reparations will go right back to white people and non-Africans. If they gave everybody in here $1 million, these non-African businesses and lands would be $1 billion business tomorrow. Which is why I do not support a cash payout for reparations as a priority. If you were to put it at the bottom of the list, I'll tolerate it. But to make that the priority clearly tells me we are not thinking deep enough and we are not thinking visionarily enough. We should be getting all the land back that was stolen from our ancestors from 1860.
Look at the kid. Look at these babies, man. Look at them. Look at this little girl. She's about to fall asleep sitting up. This little girl looks like she's on the phone. This kid is laughing. This looks just like that Deontay Kyle thing. Here's a message. Black American youth are not rocking with Pan-Africanism or the Democratic plantation. They are responding to foundational Black America grassroots. The FBA grassroots are what the kids relate to, not Dr. Kumar. And family, why in the hell is he talking to these kids about reparations? These kids want to go get on Instagram. They want to go have fun. They want to do all the things that young folks do. This man is talking to kids. I don't agree with reparations. Very interesting, family.
65 to 1965, we should be getting control of all black music, all black inventions. You understand? We should be getting control of certain major ports. 60% of all black people in America are concentrated in 10 states, and your state happens to be one of them. Michigan. All of them are on the water. You guys are on the Great Lakes. We should be controlling the major port. We get paid anytime something comes in, anytime something goes out. We have to get in control black with one another. If you one another.
I thought this man said that he was stronger than FBA. No, we don't put people to sleep. You see that, family? Look at all the dots we connected. So you have this African Union that we exposed this summer. They're trying to spin the block. And since Donald Trump pulled us out of all of that, now they can't pull that 6 region stuff on us. Then you're starting to see this little cozy relationship that's happening between Pan-Africans and a lot of the Latinos. The Bolivian president pops up talking about it. The Bolivian president didn't pop up in conjunction with the African Union speaking about reparations just because. He didn't do it for fun. There is going to be a merging of all the people in America who can get deported. We knew this was coming. Africans can get deported. Jamaicans can get deported. Haitians can get deported. And all the Latinos from South America who are illegal can all get deported. The same people who are always mad at foundational Black Americans are the same exact people who are now teaming up to go against foundational Black Americans. Notice, y'all, nobody is more anti-Black than a Latino towards an African. But yet they're all on the same damn page talking about one reparations fund. So when Dr. Umar says he's stronger than FBA, then I'm looking at, well, you got to come up and hijack FBA. And then on top of that, you got to go team up with your fellow deportable people. What you're seeing is team deportable. Y'all know we always talked about team non-deportable, broadcasting live as a foundational Black American from team non-deportable. Now y'all see how team deportable are all on the same accord. Look at this right here as we proceed. These individuals think they slick, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't getting nothing off on us. Another strange thing, fam. Look at that. This was the previous guy over there. Look at that. Look at Ghana. Ghana and Kamala. Kamala and Ghana. Look at that right there, fam. There they go. Look at them right there having a great jolly ass time. Look at that. There you go. It all ties into that. There you go. It's the 39th session of the Assembly of the African Union. African leaders adopted historical resolution. And I want y'all to notice the terms, fam. They're going to start saying things like historical. They're going to say things like good. They're going to say things like we're all on the same page. We're all friends. We're all buddy-buddy. Those are all just attempts to steal from foundational Black American reparations. I want you to notice this, and I want you to focus on this, fam. Notice how when you start talking about reparations for Black Americans, pushback, divisive. Wrong. If a foundational Black American gets up and we say that we're not going to give our whole bank account to a damn tether. They're going to say that's xenophobic. Notice how cozy they are to all of the African stuff. They love their reparations plan, don't they? But then let me say this as well. As they sit here and they try to dump all of that off on Black Americans, I want y'all to listen to this. Dr. Umar said he loved Bad Bunny. Dr. Umar said Bad Bunny was so good and so great. Dr. Umar now is trying to make a team with Latinos. Family, let me tell y'all why we delineate. This is how the people that Dr. Umar loves so much feel about us. Y'all look at this.
This is what's killing me about Black people. They on this social media talking about, oh, now brown people need our help. Oh, hell no, we're not going to get in it. Who the fuck asked Black people for help in the first place? We didn't never ask y'all for help.
Yeah, you did. You ain't seen the 3 million TikTok videos. Black people, help us. Black people. Oh, no. This is who they want us to team up with, y'all.
This is what's killing me about Black people. They on this social media talking about, oh, now brown people need our help. Oh, hell no, we're not going to get in it. Who the fuck asked Black people for help in the first place? We didn't never ask y'all for help. I don't know where y'all getting this shit confused. Go sit down somewhere. At the end of the day, we're Puerto Rican people. We're going to stick up for our Mexican people all fucking day. So fuck y'all. We don't need y'all to stick up for us because we got this. We've been slaves. We've been in the struggle. We know what the fuck we got to do.
Freeze. We've been slaves. Now they want to acknowledge slavery? Well, she needs to acknowledge that goddamn taco truck is what she needs. Matter of fact, not needs to. By the look at her and how much goddamn big she got on her back, she been acknowledging the taco truck, the burrito truck, the hamburger truck, the macaroni truck. She done acknowledged the goddamn fire hydrant truck. I know she ain't in no position to talk about acknowledging something. You need to quit acknowledging the damn dinner plate and acknowledge the damn keto diet if you're there. This right here is Senorita who needs to quit eating all the goddamn food. But y'all see what I'm talking about? Here we go. These are the folks that they want to pan Latino with.
Slaves. We've been in the struggle. We know what the fuck we got to do. We got to stand up for our Mexican peoples. Even if y'all don't want to, we never ask y'all for help. Never. The fuck out of here. Go sit down somewhere with that bullshit.
There you go, family. That right there is who they want us to team up with and ally with. Again, for the billionth, trillionth time, fam, delineation came at the right time. Because without delineation, they'd be sitting there trying to get us to share our tangibles with Mrs. I need to get on the diet ASAP. That's who they'd be sitting there trying to tell us that we need to be friends with because them is our Latino brothers and sisters. And by the way, when the hell did Mexicans and Puerto Ricans ever become friends? I'm just saying. It's funny how these people team up whenever it is getting against us. And it's funny how she teams up when it's dinner time. Family, let me tell you something. I stand on certified business 24/7, 365. I give a damn how anybody feels about it. Because at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, these people want what you got. They want what you got and you ain't letting them get it. You ain't letting them get what you got, so therefore they got a plot. You dig? And this is why we pushing that all off and we ain't allowing these people to penetrate our spaces. Because if not, you're going to see all of them. And shout out to my brother Chris for this one. Shout out. Much respect. OH, family. This right here is what it is with these people. This is what it is with these people. These people always got to go where Black Americans are going. If a Black American is going somewhere, trust me when I tell you a tether going to be following behind because they can't get it on their own. And it is what it is. I want everybody to know all the vitriol is going to always stay here because like I told you, jealousy don't go away. And family, let me tell y'all something. Dr. Umar, real friendly about reparations, right? Real friendly about reparations for Africans. Again, for those who just rolled into the room, Dr. Umar just put this out the other day. Africa for Africans, reparations will follow. Dr. Umar threw his full support behind the African Union and them trying to get reparations. That's what he did, right? Let me show y'all this right here with Dr. Umar. How many of you guys remember when he was talking to our brother Marcel? You guys remember this? And look how hostile Dr. Umar Johnson was. Watch this.
The immigrant population of Black America was less than 1% in the time. And then there was a study.
I would disagree with that, but continue.
Okay. Well, then there was a study just done by the Pew Research Center saying
that's
that
totally inaccurate. There was way more Africans in here than 1%. In fact, I would even have to challenge how they came up with those numbers. But continue.
Well, we have to look at the research, and then there was the one done, the Pew Research, is saying that over 50% of Black immigrants in the country came in after the year 2000. After the Immigration Act, there was a big wave. So
only 3% of American Africans are immigrants. Only 3%. So you're not even dealing with a whole bunch of people. My issue with the reparations piece, and again, that's not my fight. I'm gonna let y'all fight that because that's not important to me at all. As a
whoa! Did you hear what he just said? Reparations ain't his fight. It's not important to him at all.
That's not my fight. I'm gonna let y'all fight that because that's not important to me at all.
Reparations ain't my fight. It's not important to me at all. Then what the hell is this right here, Kubar? How you explain that? It's funny how it became your fight real quick when it became Africans. It's funny that it became your fight real quick when you can include Jorge Gonzalez. And by the way, speaking of Jorge Gonzalez, y'all notice Dr. Umar didn't say a damn thing about Hugo Flea Newton, Hernandez Flea Newton, Pedro Flea Newton. He didn't say nothing about that. Anything that got something to do with Latinos, he ain't saying nothing, because I'm going to tell you why. Dr. Kubar is 100% down with teaming up with anybody so he can oppose Black Americans. That's where it is, fam. The Pan-Africans and a lot of these busters are trying to team up with each other so they can try to bring down the movement of foundational Black American grassroots, the delineation movement. They want to stop it. It is all these people who want to team up now. Your ass can get deported. You can get deported. He can get deported. She can get deported. That MF back there behind the table with the hairline who's way on the shoulder blades, he can get deported. So now all the deported people are teaming up. This is the deported Voltron. They're trying to team up against Black Americans. That's why you're starting to see the Pan-Africans cozying on up next to the Latinos, Pan-Latinoism. You go down in Latin America and tell me how much they like Africans. They don't. They don't like dark-skinned Latinos. How in the hell they like Africans? But they all get on the same page now. This is why we started this broadcast showing you that African who was saying he's so shook and it's a security risk with FBA. Because now these people are so desperate, they're at the final stage of their grief that they got to team up with one another. But fam, not even that's going to work. Shout out to the team. Shout out to FBA. Shout out to the grassroots. Let's continue.
As a Pan-Africanist. But my issue with reparations, folks, is how we would go out of our way to castigate 3% of African immigrants. 3% of us in this country are African immigrants. They're not they're not as large as these other group of immigrants that are here. But be that as it may, we will go out of our way to castigate that small 3% of our number in this country who immigrated from the Caribbean, Central South America, or Africa. But we say almost nothing.
Whoa. Hold up. Did you hear it? Tell me you heard that. Central America? Family, who's in Central America? South America. Notice now, fam, Dr. Umar's not talking just about Africa. He's throwing in Central America a lot. Why are you throwing in Central America and South America? Because that's where all your Pan-Latinos are. There you go, family. It's always been there. The signs have been there. The statements have been there. We just calling it out. Easy.
That small 3% of our number in this country who immigrated from the Caribbean, Central South America, or Africa, but we say almost nothing about the Latinos who have been raping your civil rights. You say nothing about the LGBTQ who have been raping your civil rights. We don't say anything about the groups who are really responsible for eating from the plate.
And that's who you want to team up with. Bad Bunny was so good. Kendrick was so bad. Fam, he done made it clear.
Black America, because we're scared of them. So we don't want to upset the homosexuals. We don't want to upset the women's movement. We don't want to upset the Latinos. So we're going to pick on the African immigrants because they're the only people we're going to get away with by targeting them. Why are you not targeting the real people who have siphoned off of the civil rights movement? Why are we attacking African immigrant brothers and sisters? That's just my position. But again, that's not my fight. I'm going to let y'all have that because as a Pan-Africanist, I wouldn't even waste my time on that.
He wouldn't waste his time on that as a Pan-African, but yet he'll do that right there, brothers and sisters. You see it, I see it, we know it, we own it, and they can't stop the movement. Fam, delineation got these people all shook up. And notice, fam, he jumped all over the damn place, didn't he? Did he jump all over the place, fam? He was everywhere except for where reality is. But that's exactly who you're dealing with him. You can see, we can see, everybody sees, fam, the tether Voltron. That's exactly what it is. And by the way, fam, remember, Dr. Kubar is exactly that. He's a Cuban, all right? He's a banana boat buster. All right. And he came over here on the banana boat and it was shaking, hurt. He fell off a couple times, got back on. Maybe when he fell off, a couple Cubans helped him up. So now he wants to do the whole pan-Latino thing. But watch me when I tell y'all, fam, you're going to start seeing more and more of these Pan-Africans and Latinos. Probably get on TikTok tonight. You're going to have a space. It's going to have Julio and Mutombo, and they both going to be running their mouth. And by the way, what's this whole thing about people getting mad at Kendrick Lamar? Fam, everybody seems to use Kendrick Lamar now as a proxy to go against Black Americans. I'm going to show y'all how delineation has ruined all the AT&Ts, angry TikTok tethers, all the mops, melanated other people, all the docs, domestic off-code COONs, and now you see that Michael Erica Dyson done got involved. Did y'all see Michael Erica Dyson? Almost as if he just found out who Kendrick Lamar is. You are completely late. And by the way, Michael Erica Dyson, you're looking a little rough nowadays. Damn it, does he look rough? And by the way, why the hell are his pants all the way up to his chest? This man's looking real Starburst, real Skittles bag, but watch how he starts caping for Drake. Here we go.
Ingenious artist. Drake, a brilliant, ingenious artist. Brilliant, ingenious artist. Drake, a brilliant, ingenious artist. Talk to Kendrick Lamar, a brilliant, ingenious artist. Drake, a brilliant, ingenious artist. But most people would acknowledge Kendrick as genius, but not Drake, right? Drake is commercially viable. He's a monster. He sells records. But is he as deep? So here's the point, that Drake is being indicted by Kendrick Lamar, implicitly and explicitly. Not Like Us is a perfect anthem for the present president. For all those people who think this is so revolutionary, oh my God, Not Like Us, and they're dancing. Why do you think that song was so popular? I was at the Super Bowl when Kendrick Lamar performed on field, and the orange apparition was in the stands, and I didn't see a radical dissimilarity between that song and the theme of this man's presidency. You are not like us. You are, Somalian. You are Ethiopian. You are Eritrean. You are, Mexican. You are whatever. Fill in the blank. You are Haitian.
Uh-oh. Listen, fam. He done went down the whole list that Dr. Umar just went down. He went down the whole list that the African Union went down. Listen to what he said, fam. He said, you are not Eritrean. He said, you are not Haitian. He started naming Latino places. Family, here you go. Look how they're tying in the African immigrant, the Jamaican immigrant, the Haitian immigrant, the Latino immigrant, all together at the same time going at Black Americans. And by the way, They Not Like Us was not about Donald Trump. If you don't take your Democratic shield-ish and get the hell up out of here with that one, it was about delineating and gatekeeping people just like you.
Apparition was in the stands, and I didn't see a radical dissimilarity between that song and the theme of this man's presidency. You are not like us. You are, Somalian. You are Ethiopian. You are Eritrean. You are, Mexican. You are whatever. Fill in the blank. You are Haitian. And so to me, that very theme, forget the song is the song, whatever you think about it. But the notion itself is a Manichaean distinction, a big distinction, us versus them. And they're trying to de-black Drake, right? Oh,
I'm sorry. Does this man got hey, look at the damn suspenders. This man's shirt wrinkled his hair. Boy, delineation whooping his ass. He can't come up with enough big words to describe delineation. He's like the formalities of the cultivation of the rectal. If you add it up and add long division and subtraction to it with calculus, delineation is whooping my ass. Them damn suspenders that he got on is hurting my feelings. That wrinkled ass shirt needs an iron like 3 days ago. He done went gray. Delineation done made this man go gray, y'all. God damn. Look at his pants. They way up by his chest. He got suspenders, shirt crinkled and wrinkled. The man getting red, turned gray. Get it together, Erica.
well, he's not really black because he grew up in Canada. I grew up in Compton. Bro, you're reducing blackness to Compton? Did you not know that black people fled America going to Canada, whether it's in Nova Scotia, parts of Toronto, to escape the iron tyranny of enslavement? And he ain't black. His
Black folks didn't flee. Black Americans didn't flee. Don't let them tell that one, family. Hell no. Black folks, we fled. Black Americans ain't ever fled nowhere. Black Americans ain't migrate. We expanded. Get it right, y'all. Don't let people try to twist those terms. We ain't fled. And by the way, black folks who did go into Canada, it wasn't Drake, because Drake's people is some W's. Get it right. This man trying to make it look like Drake comes from a Canadian black person. No, he don't. Boy, delineation got this man broken and bruised.
daddy is black. He went to Memphis every summer. The Memphis Horns fill his music, the first album Drake made. His grandmama babysat Aretha Franklin.
Really?
And his uncle is Larry Graham from Sly and the Family Stone. How much, what black heart he got to show? Why does he have to continue to produce what it is? And at one point, on his album Damn, that won the Pulitzer Prize, I like to remind the acolytes, the apparatchiks of Mr. Lamar that he says, I ain't black, don't call me black no more, because he was in the Black Hebrew stuff.
Why is he getting so angry at Kid Bam? This is a day late, a dollar short. How old is They Not Like Us? Like 2 years ago. He just did this, right, fam? This is all like, why is he talking about They Not Like Us now? Could it be delineation? Could it be that it's separation? That he wants to double back and bring this up? I'm very, very wanting to know why he's bringing this up out of nowhere. This man, you've been sitting on this for 2 years, Erica? Are your feelings hurt, Erica? Are them damn pants too high up, Erica? Yes. Are those suspenders too damn tight, Erica? Yes. Did that shirt need to get wrinkled and twisted and thrown in the damn shit? He need to put that in the microwave. Get it together, bro, because I don't think a dryer is going to do that no good.
Stuff. And Drake said, he said, light skin, but still a dark N-word. So I'm saying that's your God? So to me, yeah, that still exists. You're not as black as me. You're not as righteous as me. You are, what did he say? You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer. What other figure in black music has ever been called a colonizer? Because he experiments widely with music. All right. Remember when Paul Simon brought over those South Africans and introduced them to the world? Oh, Kendrick, who put you on tour first? Oh, it was a guy named Drake. So this inability to not only have gratitude for where you came from, but to understand blackness is far deeper and more exhaustive than any one nationality or race or people can make it. So that's my spiel on them. Well, ingenious artist.
Man, that man, he used a bunch of big words and didn't say nothing. He was all over the damn place, wasn't he? He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Just babbling, y'all. You feel me? Delineation has the whole world. Fam, delineation got these people shook. Delineation is really serving these people up right now. I mean, you're starting to really see some people that are shook by delineation. They don't really know what to do. It's really given America a complete makeover at this point, if you really want to go there. What's going on with the foundational Black American grassroots, and remember, I want everybody to consistently say the FBA grassroots. FBA is the lineage, right? All of us, 50 million of us, we are FBA. I'm talking about the grassroots inside of our lineage. That's where we reside. And the FBA grassroots has America and the world shook. Think about it, y'all. Musically, you're talking about movies. Professionally, you could just say music. You can go to They Not Like Us, and then you can go to Sinners. They Not Like Us and Sinners are basically the music and the movie version of delineation. There wouldn't be no They Not Like Us if there wasn't the delineation movement. There wouldn't be Sinners without the delineation movement. So you're talking about the two most dominating things. Sinner was the biggest thing in cinematic film, and that is all based on the FBA grassroots delineation movement. And then They Not Like Us is the biggest record probably of the last 15 years. And that is all based on the delineation movement. So you're talking about music and movies. You got Africans going to the UN trying to leech off of us. Donald Trump pulling us out of it. FBA grassroots shutting it down. We are delineating, and it's causing everybody to be disrupted. But we over here just minding our own business, standing on it, doing our same thing. We ain't changed nothing up. It's beautiful to be a part of this. And it's beautiful to watch people not be able to handle it because they didn't think this would happen. That's what you got to say. Fam, for so long, it's been controlled opposition that's been in the forefront of the Black American community. What we simply did is we just annexed all them, and then we put the grassroots in front. Therefore, now you're starting to watch people crash out. And I'm enjoying watching people crash out. I love watching people crash out. I love the deportation videos. I love it all. Because it is all brought to you by us, and it's long overdue. It should have been this way a long time ago. I believe that we should have really never got to the point where we had to delineate. But the fact that we did do it and we are delineating is only putting us in a better position. And the position that we are in is one where we're succeeding and everyone else is failing. And I love winning. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about and why we are out here changing the world. Delineation every damn day. Watch.
Tell the immigrants who come over here insult Black Americans constantly when you say stuff like, well, y'all just African. You ain't got no Indian in you. Go take a blood test. What about the haplogroups? And yet, many of you don't realize how insulting that is. See, the 5 civilized tribes and even the tribes outside of the 5 civilized tribes, they were enslaving us. So many of us are a part of these tribes, not because we chose to be, but because certain treaties, like the treaties of 1866, those allowed us to be a part of those tribes. because we were enslaved by them. And you bringing your ass over here, your tether ass over here, saying silly shit as if you are suggesting that we are just generic Africans. And you have no idea how insulting that is, how much ancestral trauma that triggers. And you wonder why we are delineating. Wow. Tether immigrants who come over here insult.
You damn right we delineating. Yeah, we delineating all the way live, and everybody's loving it. And this is all brought to you by us, fam. And you got to understand that the game has changed completely. Nobody no more can live off of what FBA is doing. Nobody can no more come across us where we don't know them. And we don't give a damn. See, I want everybody to understand that. We don't care how you feel about what we're doing. Black Americans in this generation, we're not emotional. We're all about business. All about business. And when I say we about business, we holding it down based on that. And every day you see people upset, they're angry, and that's where they should be, because that's where it lies. It lies amongst us. We're not running around here like them. We ain't running around here making up stuff. We're out here really doing it, and we're doing it in our fashion. But one of the things that I also been noticing, and I'm sure you guys have been noticing as well, have y'all seen so much turmoil going on? Not just within the tether community, the FLIR community, the hopper community, the skipper community. Fam, there's been a hell of a lot of stuff going on within the political structure, in particular, the Democratic Party. Everybody's noticing right now that the Democrats are so broken because of delineation. And I want y'all to understand how powerful that is, because when the Democrats are getting broken by Black Americans, lack of participation and all their shenanigans, that's sending a message to all political parties that we are out here standing on business. So I have a question that I want to present to you guys. We had a space, me and my sister Natural are live on TikTok, and it came up. Somebody said, how do we get political power as Black Americans? And I want to ask y'all this question right now. People say that, well, we need to start our own party. Some people say we need to have our own super PAC. I believe this, and I want to know how you guys feel about it. For Black Americans to continue what we're doing, because right now, fam, we got all the motion, all the traction. Politically, we're going to start to take over as well. I believe foundational Black Americans, I don't think we need a political party. I really don't. Why? Why do we need a party? See, be honest with you, parties are what's the problem in the United States of America, because it turns into gangster stuff. You know, the Democrats and the Republicans. We need to just be foundational Black Americans to where we get foundational Black American candidates. I'm really disconcerted with whether you're in a party or not. Some people say we need the FBA party. No, somebody made a point a long time ago. They said a political party is what you do, not who you are. Okay, remember that. Right now, go into opensecrets.com and type in Black. Everybody says we need a super PAC. Let me tell you this, fam. We're not at a loss for having super PACs. You got a hell of a lot of super PACs, but they're always Black and. Remember that, family. It's always Black and something else. I typed in one time Black on the super PAC. They have a database that shows you all the super PACs. I typed in Black, and do you know I seen almost over 150 different super PACs that used the word Black, but it was Black and LGBTQ, Blacks and Republicans, Blacks and Democrats, Blacks and Starbursts, Blacks and illegals. So when you start running around here saying super PACs, fam, I feel that we don't need any of that. Absolutely independent. And remember, y'all, about 2 weeks ago, I went on a whole spiel on this broadcast telling everybody that we're about independence. That's the key word. You delineate for what? You set boundaries so you can be independent. Black Americans are independent. That's how we move. If you remember, during the last election last year, I made it a point to go all across this country. I went to 2 Trump rallies. I went to 3 or 4 Democratic campaign rallies where they was playing. And I kept reiterating the fact that we're independent. We don't have a party, because I'm telling you now, once you start getting into the political party stuff, that's when it turns into something completely different. That's when it turns into their groups and all this kind of stuff. It ain't about that. It's about the people. And the people get behind it, and the people run it, and the people show it what it's really hitting for. That's where I believe our excellence will lie, and that's where I believe we can get it done. So I see what you guys saying. Yep, FBA is independent. FBA is independent. Absolutely. Yep, I love what y'all saying. I love what y'all saying, because that's really where it all lies. It all lies in Black Americans doing what we want to do on our own and not playing the game and finding our own political candidates that we can push and we can make happen, and we can get off the ground, and everything becomes very thorough after that point. Let me show y'all something, though, when I tell y'all that there's a lot of problems going on with these individuals and at a particular party called the Democrats. Because remember, y'all, what we did to the Democratic Party wasn't just for the Democratic Party. What we did to the Democratic Party was also for the Republicans to watch, so the Republicans can see what's going on. But let me tell y'all, there's a lot of disgruntled people that aren't having what's going on in the Democratic Party, and they don't want some people there. Omar, let me show y'all. Omar, matter of fact, let me show y'all. This is Omar's sister right here. Omar's sister's mad, and she says she wants reparations, and she says she's not going to tolerate anything less than reparations. But family, I'm going to show y'all James Carville is pissed off. Y'all look at James Carville, and James Carville says, why don't they just get Omar out of the Democratic Party? Look at this, family. Here we go. You got to love it. We are making the W's turn on all of their tether pets because now they're realizing delineation has made the tethers disposable. Watch.
Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right, let's do the simple math. And probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Garcine or Jeff Garrett. Roughly 69% of people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else.
Whoa! By the way, Carville looking just as bad as Michael Erica Dyson. Boy, delineation is making all the ops age 10 years at a time. I be damned. Look how rough he looked. Goodness gracious, man. Skeletor done showed up. Look how mad and angry he is. Fam, that's because of delineate. Somebody said Skeletor. I swear I didn't see you say Skeletor. I didn't even see you say Skeletor, fam. Shout out to you. We on the same page, fam. Much respect. Damn. Somebody said the Grim Reaper, the Crypt Keeper. Hey, what was the show? I forget. Damn, with the Crypt Keeper. Was that Tales from the Crypt? Was that what it was, fam? Tales from the Crypt? He done went full Tales from the Crypt. Let me know if I'm wrong. I hate when I say something that ain't correct. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, family. Is it Tales from the Crypt with the Crypt Keeper? Because delineation and turn this man to the Crypt Keeper. Let's go, y'all.
Fine. We agree with
run it back.
Roughly 69% of people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math, are going to be white. Of that, 48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's.
Okay, so it is the Crypt Keeper and it is Tales from the Crypt. We got these folks, Tales from the Crypt. Delineation got them shook, y'all.
Just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. Goddamn, these people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own goddamn political party and get out of ours.
Ours? What you mean, ours? What do you, hey, speak it. What you mean, ours, fam? Let me tell you what that means. I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm going to let it be known. And if he's saying that about Omar, what you think he's saying about Jasmine Crockett? Yeah. See, all that stuff of you are the fake representative of black people, we've exposed that. So now everybody who's been pretending to be some type of representative of us, black Americans have made it clear, oh, they don't represent us. They don't represent us. Neither does they. So now that they see that these people don't represent black America, they can't get us to go vote. They can't get us to turn out. People like Carville now are turning on them. All that stuff where they make it look like they're going after the system of supremacy, but in reality, all they're doing is making the block hot. What he really just said is that she done made the Mayo block hot. And he sees a lot of people leaving. A lot of people don't know this, fam. A lot of folks were leaving the Democratic Party because all of those like melanated tethers have turned off a lot of them white folks. Then white folks don't want to be a part of the Democratic Party. They're like, nah, I don't really want to be a part of the Democratic Party. Why is that? It's because the Democratic Party is getting too melanated. No one talks about the great shift. We spoke about this on the Black Alpha Network like 3 years ago, where when you start seeing the Omars, the Jasmine Crockett's of the world, that's making a lot of W's leave the Democrats and go vote for the Republicans. Why do you think Trump won in a landslide? It's because one thing for certain, in the Democratic Party, they're trying to push this thing where like the melanated people are equal with the males. You know that ain't the case in the system of supremacy. So a lot of them W's are saying, I'm out. I'm going to go vote Republican now. He just sat there and told Omar, get the hell out. We don't want you. Start your own party. Why is that, family? It's because now they're seeing they're useless. Let me tell y'all somebody else You got another tether that done got that work. Megyn Kelly was going in on that Abby, whatever the hell, Phillips. Ain't she like Ghanaian or something? Watch this, fam. Here goes another one getting that work.
Game show. Fuck her. I'm sorry. That enrages me. That deeply enrages me. She's never donned the uniform. She's never risked her life for her country. Did she ever rappel out of a helicopter and save 146 people? I don't remember seeing that. Did she bring down 4 Soviet MiGs over Korea after having fought in every war during the course of her lifetime? I don't remember that. Did she even make a U.S. gold-winning sports team of any kind when the odds were stacked against her and the score was tied and all the pressure was on and save the team from certain defeat? She's never done anything. She sat in that fucking anchor chair. That's all she's ever done. How dare she call it a game show? Game show.
Damn.
Fuck her. I'm sorry. Fuck her. Fuck her. Fuck her.
So you got Omar getting kicked out the damn Democratic Party. You got Jasmine Crockett. They threw her wig under the bus. Abby the Tether is out here getting dogged. Damn, y'all done gave me 100 different places where Abby from. Okay, well, we know she ain't from America. But damn, tell us how you feel about her.
Game show. Fuck her. I'm sorry. That enrages. Fuck her. I'm sorry. Fuck her.
3.
Fuck her.
4.
Fuck her.
107.
Fuck her. I'm sorry. That enrages me. That deeply enrages me. She's never donned the uniform. She's never risked her life for her country. Did she ever rappel out of a helicopter and save 146 people? I don't remember seeing that. Did she bring down 4 Soviet MiGs over Korea after having fought in every war sports team of any kind when the odds were stacked against her and the score was tied and all the pressure was on and save the team from certain defeat? She's never done anything. She sat in that fucking anchor chair. That's all she's ever done. How dare she call it a game show? Fuck her. I'm sorry. That fuck her.
Y'all notice a pattern here, though? Let's go down the pattern real quick. The Abby Phillips is a tether. Omar is a tether. A lot of us believe Jasmine Crockett is a tether. Kamala's a tether. Barack is a tether. Notice that all the tethercrats are getting all the smoke from people in their party and out the party. Megyn Kelly is a Republican going in on her. James Carville is a Democrat going in on Omar. You see what delineation has done? Family, one thing for certain on this whole broadcast, I've showed you from Dr. Kubar Vasquez all the way down to Omar, all the way back around to Pedro, and you can land right there at Abby. They're all a bunch of tethers. And all of the tethers are out here getting exposed, and they're seen as dismissible, disposable. No one wants them. That's because when these people can't speak for us, they are useless to the system. And they're going to stay useless to the system. But fam, there's a lot of things going on that delineation has shut down. And one of the main things that delineation has shut down is both of these political parties, both of these establishments, but even more so, we've been exposing everything that goes on over there. Let me tell y'all, isn't it very poetic that on this broadcast, we're exposing what we exposed this summer with the African Union? I don't think nobody's really going in and did a deep dive like we just did with all the nonsense going on with Trump pulling us out, which is good, and with all the people in the African Union trying to Afro-Latino and all that stuff, and we canceled all of that, dismissed. But however, another thing that we exposed was those braiding shops. Yeah. Y'all know all those braiding shops that we seen this summer, and we had a boycott because they was treating people funny, and when we said we was going to boycott them, they said we was xenophobic. But come to find out, family, those braiding shops have been holding a bunch of African people as slaves. So yeah, not only do you have slavery in Africa, you got Africans enslaving Africans in African braiding shops, the same braiding shops that Black Americans said that we was going to boycott. You can thank us later. We always right. Let me show y'all this right here. Story that popped up. Shout out to my brother Melrose if he's listening. Shout out to Melrose. I got this from my brother. Check this out, fam. Look at this. Very disturbing. Black Americans are always right. Everyone else is always wrong. And we just look better than everybody because we're some very, very good looking people. Watch this.
Victims of something hard to believe. Something you might never expect. Something that happened in plain sight. You are looking at girls who were held as slaves in America. Not for a week or a month, but for years.
Can you tell us about what it was like having someone else control all of your movements, everything you did?
It was like being trapped, being in a cage. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes it's not enough food for us to eat. No freedom at all.
Nicole and Zena and another 20 girls like them were brought to the U.S. from their homes in the West African nations of Ghana and Togo nearly a decade ago. Barely teens, promised an American education. They were instead enslaved in Newark, New Jersey.
What did the traffickers take from you?
They took my childhood from me, my teenhood. They took it from me. They took my trust from me, and they took everything. They took everything away from me.
The girls were forced to work in hair braiding salons, serving customers all day, right out in the open. Their captors took all the money the girls earned, every penny.
How many days a week were you working?
7 days a week.
How many hours a day?
Sometimes 14 hours.
This went on for 5 to 6 years. Traffickers held the girls in several houses in Newark and East Orange. The traffickers no longer live there.
This is the neighborhood where these girls were being held, and just look at it. Manicured lawns, nice houses. It looks like any neighborhood in America, and it definitely doesn't look like a place where you'd expect to find slavery.
Who would commit such a crime? These are the traffickers.
Whoa! Freeze, y'all! Hold up. Do you see how deep this is? Family, are y'all picking up on this like I'm picking up on this? What in the hell? Don't ever talk about Black Americans again. Don't fix your ashy ass, need some Vaseline lips and mention my lineage. Y'all got an obsession with slavery that needs to be studied. Damn. What is going on in the world today? Or shall I say, what's going on with these damn tethers today? I can't make this up. Y'all can't make this up. We ain't make this up. This is a prime example of how these individuals are.
Akawavi Afalabi, the wife, was the ringleader. Lasisi, the husband, and Derek, the son, were accomplices, according to court documents and law enforcement. Why did they do it? Money. Pure and simple.
Stop. Money. Pure and simple. Just the same way you want our reparations. Money. Pure and simple. Our tangibles. Money. Pure and simple. You see how they'll sell each other out for $1? Do you see why we said that these people would not share reparations? So all of that reparations, one big African Negro, don't exist to us? Shut it all down. Family, you want to talk about a backstabbing culture? You want to talk about people who sell each other out? They are enslaving each other everywhere. We can now include Africans enslaving Africans in America. They want to talk about an enslaved African? Fam, we can start with this. Hold up. I need to see y'all face. No, F that. We need to talk about this. You know how they love to run around and say enslaved Africans? They were right about the enslaved Africans. They just had the wrong people. We ain't enslaved Africans. We are indigenous foundational Black Americans. We built this country. The only enslaved Africans that I see are enslaved Africans where Africans are enslaving and trafficking them at African braiding shops. The same African braiding shops that we shut down and boycotted this summer. So it's funny that they had so much of a problem with us, but they ain't said nothing about them. There you go again, family. They don't say nothing about their hate, their jealousy, their spite, their vitriol. They don't say nothing about their slavery, their tribalism, their backstabbing. You're out there trafficking young African girls done by other Africans, and you're doing it over here, and you're mad and upset at Black Americans for calling it out. We're going to keep on calling it out because apparently you're too cowardly to do so. But you can thank FBA later. What the hell are we looking at, family? What the hell are we talking about? Do you see what I'm saying, fam? This is why we delineate and separate. They want us to share our reparations with that. This is who they want us to say, yeah, let's share reparations with. Hell no. Because when it come down to $1, it's proven that the diaspora, which is very poorer, will do any and everything to each other just to disrespect. I cannot believe that these individuals are doing that and you don't see nothing. By the way, where are the TikTok lives about that? I ain't seen nothing. Have y'all asked me right now, fam? I'm gonna ask you, you ask me, we can talk. How many TikTok lives have you seen with people discussing that right there? Have you seen TikTok lives? Because I know right now I can get on TikTok today, tomorrow, next week, and I can see 1,000 TikTok lives for 24 hours just talking about Tariq. Y'all be hating on Tariq 24/7, 365 on TikTok. Nothing about the trafficking and enslaving other Africans? Damn. I could see y'all talking about foundational Black Americans. Nothing about y'all trafficking and enslaving other Africans. So this whole game of we going to have all this hyper focus on Black Americans, but we going to be dead silent and quiet about what you're doing to each other Delineation done shut that down. Delineation done put everybody on a big old front screen. So where they can't hide any of the things that they're doing, and they got to stand on it. Or in that case, they got to enslave each other over it. Let me show y'all even further things that further prove that these individuals ain't like us. I know Michael Erica Dyson was very mad. I know Michael Erica Dyson was very pissed off. But one thing that Michael Erica Dyson is going to have to realize is the same thing they're all going to have to realize, and that is that Black Americans don't give a damn. We don't care whatever you coming up with, whatever your little game plan and agenda is, that's all on you, because we ain't going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And they know that. We're going to stand on FBA business, and they know that. We're going to continuously do what we've been doing, and they know that. And there ain't nothing that they can do about it, because that's just how genuine we are. Let me show y'all this right here. This is why we call all these people out at the same damn time, if you feel me, man. Look at this. Here we go. More of these people who are delusional. We're going to have to start calling it the delusional diaspora. Look at this, family.
Haitian history is Black history? Who said that? How is it that the city of Chicago was founded by a Haitian man, Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, but Haitian history isn't Black history?
Ain't no way John Baptiste is the founder of Chicago when Chicago was already called Chicago before he even arrived. The French explorers that were trading with the Potawatomi tribe back in the 1600s recorded the name that they were already using. The Potawatomi people was using Chiquawe, right? So they were using that name even before the French explorers even showed up. They already had their way of living. They were already trading. The correct term for John Baptiste would be he was the first non-indigenous settler that brought European systems with him, that brought the European way of life with him. He was the first one fencing off his livestock, fencing off his property, setting up trade posts the European way. Mind you, the Potawatomi people already had a way of trading. They already had a lifestyle. So John Baptiste is no different than a Christopher Columbus. You know what I'm saying? You can't find something that was already there. They already had their systems. They already had the name.
Stop. Fam, another one of these, we found something that FBA already did. There goes in the fam, I'm telling y'all, it's always something. It's always something.
So yeah, first non-indigenous settler that brought European systems with him. Correct term. Let's not erase the indigenous people of this land, especially the Potawatomi people. And Chicago was already named Chicago before he even arrived. Yeah.
Man, I'm just saying, y'all, they come up with new stuff, we shut it down. They come up with something else to shut it down. When they gonna learn, y'all, that we just on another level, you know what I'm saying? Why you want Black America? Go get your own. Here's the thing, fam. If you want reparations, go get your own. Don't try to six region us. You seen we canceled out. Let me say this, fam. Black Americans canceled out all of that 6 region African Union. You can go to the UN 3 different damn times. You need to go to the UN and stop all that damn slavery, that apartheid, and that colonialism that's going on in Africa. But let me tell you this. Black Americans shut down all of that African Union hustle and hijack and scamming. So y'all ain't gonna be getting no damn reparations. Checkmate. Black Americans did that. And then on top of that, Black Americans shut down all these people trying to leech off of foundational Black American February. Shut that down. Checkmate. Cancel that as well. Everything they come up with, from trying to hijack reparations to trying to hijack Black American History Month, foundational Black Americans check them, regulate them, and shut it down. So all of them are canceled, and foundational Black Americans are standing on principle. You see the difference between the two? They may not see it, but they know it. We know it, and we see it. You can't stand in the space with FBA because, quite frankly, you ain't real enough. And when I tell y'all that these people ain't real enough, they ain't got nothing going for themselves, and they are nothing more than just a bunch of consistent crash outs. That's exactly what I mean. Consistent crash outs. And fam, they've been crashing out so bad. So I'm talking about janky. I'm talking about some real janktified. I don't even know if that's where it's going to be one today. These are some janktified ass people. And anytime you deal with a janktified ass person, you already know you're going to get janktified ass energy. Dr. Umar had the nerve to show this right here. Fam, let me show y'all who the hell Dr. Umar is down with. And this is why Dr. Umar is down on his knees. Look at this. Fam, look what he posted. Look who he posted. Look at this, fam. Look at your screen right now, brothers and sisters. I know he didn't post the bonnet beluga. I know he didn't. Y'all know this person right here. You know, the TikTok lady. Remember the one that was coming out there disrespecting Assata Shakur? Why this man said, "Thank you, my beautiful." He said, "My beautiful African queen." He's talking about pretendians. And he said, "Beautiful African queen" to that. Dr. Umar, you cool with that right there? Hell no. You want to talk about bum energy? That is what you call bum energy, fam. Janktified. Look at that. He called her a beautiful African queen. Kubar, you done put some of that dope in your Jollof. He's on that dope loaf. Maybe he done ate some mud pies. I don't know. But what the hell is that? What the hell is that, family? Maybe that's Dr. Umar's boo thing. You know what I'm saying, fam? I mean, it's only right. You got the walrus and the beluga. And what did they make together? A manatee. So there you go, family. You got a manatee for all of the tether humanity. There you go. Easy work. And fam, we shut all that down. Look at that. Still talking about your school. And y'all remember this right here? Foundational African American. Ain't that what Kubar's trying to do now? Right there, fam. Foundational African American. That looks like what he's trying to do today. Same thing, fam. And guess what? FBA shut it down when they tried it the first time. So you ain't got to lie to kick it, Kubar. So I need you and your manatee to get the hell up out of our way, because just like y'all ain't never gonna get no reparations, just like y'all ain't never gonna get nothing popping, that's exactly the same energy we feel when we tell y'all that y'all ain't like us. Don't be mad because you ain't like us and never will be. Just accept it. And remember, if you don't agree with me, I will call I show speed on you with the emphasis on ice. Damn, that'll piss them off too, wouldn't it? Boy, they'd be extra mad right there. They'd be like, God damn it, Black Alpha. But let me tell y'all something that came across my timeline, and it was very, 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 very disturbing with Dr. Kubar Vasquez, family. I mean, very disturbing. A lot of us been looking at Dr. Umar funny style. A lot of us been looking at Dr. Umar and the beluga funny style when they're not blocking the sun. Let me show y'all this right here. And it's very, very telling that these individuals know damn well they ain't got nothing popping. So the first thing they do is try to steal Black American talking points. That's fine. We understand that. That's what tethers do. Tethers, they love to steal. Remember, the T in tether stands for thief. The F in FLIR stands for failure. And that's what they do. They thief and they fail all day. And now they're tethering onto different people. But fam, Dr. Umar has been out there talking reckless, and he got some people from the Mayo community who are looking at him funny as well. Y'all look at this. Y'all tell me, is Mayo meth head Matthew correct? Because I think he might be on to something about Dr. Umar. Watch this. Here we go. Family, watch this. When a W man is saying Dr. Umar's downfall needs to be studied, damn. But he also says maybe Dr. Umar has been having a little fun with that candy makes you dandy. Watch.
Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't know why we say doctor. That dude ain't a doctor or nothing. You got some health problems and you're around Umar Johnson, call the real doctors. One of the most pleasurable things I've had of late is watching the downfall of Umar Johnson. Someone that several years ago, I pointed to the fact that he had a problem with the Coca-Cola Classic, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, it takes one to know one. I participated in that lifestyle for over a decade, sold it for a decade before that, and went to rehab, got out, and worked at a rehab for 3 years. I know what it looks like when somebody's a butterhead. I used to be one. And Dr. Umar Johnson is a butterhead. More of it's going to come out. If you watch his live streams, you can totally tell that this guy is amped up on the juice, on that rocket fuel. And watching him make a downfall like he is I'm here for all of it. I'm here for every bit of Dr. Umar Johnson's downfall. Dr. Umar Johnson.
Whoa! Damn! Did the Coca-Cola come out? Man, is Brad look like he on it right now. He said it take one to know one. Hold up.
I don't know why we say doctor. That dude ain't a doctor or nothing. You got some health problems and you're around Umar Johnson, call the real doctors. One of the most pleasurable things I've had of late is watching the downfall of Umar Johnson. Someone that several years ago, I pointed to the fact that he had a problem with the Coca-Cola Classic, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, it takes one to know one. I participated in that lifestyle for over a decade, sold it for a decade before that, and went to rehab, got out, and worked at a rehab for 3 years. I know what it looks like when somebody's a butterhead. I used to be one. And Dr. Umar Johnson is a butterhead. More of it's going to come out. If you watch his live streams, you can totally tell that this guy is amped up on the juice, on that rocket fuel. And watching him make a downfall like he is I'm here for all of it. I'm here for every bit of Dr. Umar Johnson's downfall.
Damn. I mean, I'm just saying, man, you know what I'm saying? That cocaine is something, ain't it? That cocaine is something massive. And there you go. I'm just saying, fam, you know what I'm saying? You know, it take one to know one, you know what I'm saying? To know one to take one. It look like you've been taking a hell of a lot of it. And that's what a lot of people been saying out there. So maybe that's where the delusion comes from. You know what I'm saying? Candy makes you dandy and it makes you delusional. You know what I'm saying? So when you think that Pan-Africanism is actually the wave of the future, you might be on that candy makes you dandy. If you think that you're going to hijack foundational Black American talking points, candy makes you dandy. If you think that you're going to steal the progress that foundational Black Americans have created, candy makes you dandy. And if you think for one solitary second that delineation is going to write a pass for you, candy makes you dandy. So there you go, family. Candy has been doing a lot of things, but it ain't been making him dandy. Checkmate. And somebody in the chat said, don't prop up this white man. Where? Who did what? Where? I didn't do that. Boy, let me tell you something. I understand that, you know, some people just don't get it. Ain't nobody propping none of what? I propped him up by saying he's a meth head Matthew from the trailer park. No. I don't know who said that, but hell to the no. The problem ain't with us. The problem is between him and Dr. Umar. The guy said he does the dope. People think he look like he's on dope. He look like he's on dope. Person said he sells dope. Said they've been on the same page. Just because your W counterpart throws another one of their tools under the bus, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Here's a new one, fam, for the slow folks, okay? If the white man throws a tether under the bus, ain't got nothing to do with us. If the white man throws a mop under the bus, ain't got nothing to do with us. If a white man throws one of his tools under the bus, ain't got nothing to do with us. If a white man throws one of his ops under the bus, ain't got nothing to do with us. There you go, family. I don't give a damn what it could be. Megan Kelly. It can be this W who's on dope. It can be anybody. If you want to dance with the supremacists and the supremacist throws you under the bus, I'm going to personally show it for the whole world because it ain't got nothing to do with us. I enjoy watching people who tap dance get their tools broken. And foundational Black Americans, we got all the motion. Let me show y'all this as well, fam, as we in here. Absolutely. None at all. Here we go. This is what it is. This is what we doing. And this is how we running everything. Shout out to my good brother. And when I say my good brother, I mean my good brother. And he is a phenomenal brother. Shout out to Black Truth United for this one. I be damn. I love my brothers and sisters up in here so damn good. Y'all so damn clever. Y'all be on one. Y'all be holding it down. Look at this right here. When we said family, there's no honor amongst fleas. My brother Black Truth United had this bubbling and cooking within 5 minutes. Shout out to Bruzzo. And I got another one too from somebody else. Oh, I love y'all. Y'all be moving so damn fast. This is a foundational Black American special. But I'm just saying, though, there's no honor amongst fleas. So when you got to flee your homeland, leave your homeland, don't be mad at us for posting it up. Shout out to Black Truth United, man. By the way, Black Truth, if you in here, fam, somebody, Angelic, somebody, please post Black Truth United's YouTube channel in the chat. Everybody go subscribe to my brother, man. Everybody go subscribe. Shout out to my brother right there. All damn day. Yes, indeed. There's no honor amongst fleas. I mean, boy, he got them flying around. Got to love it. That's what time we on right here, fam. You know how we do. You know we stay true. You know we run the yard. This is what FBA does out here. I got another one. Yes, indeed. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, I can't blow it up bigger. Hold on. I got to get someone big. Hold up. Shout out. Boy, y'all send me some right now. Let's go. We here. It's FBA Friday. I told y'all. We in the house. Hold on. Oh, I can't make it bigger. Damn, I want to make this one bigger. I can't make it bigger. It's not allowing me to. But I just got the message. Somebody just sent me this one. So much love and respect to you as well. Boy, we got all of them up in here. Let's go to work. There you are, family. Shout out. I want to make that last one bigger, but I can't. It's not allowing me to make it bigger. But you know, I feel you. I feel you. Thank you for sending that to me. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And Black Truth, I had to do a slight remix, fam. A low-key remix. It's a Dr. Umar remix, fam. Can I post this one too? Can I, y'all? Because, you know, we in here deep right now. It's FBA Friday. We in here roasting these people. Y'all look at this. Shout out to my brother Black Truth. While we've been on air, I had to low-key remix it a little bit. And guess who I found out was lurking in the background? Dr. Goddamn Kubar Vasquez. Damn. I thought you was scamming folks for donations. I thought you was scamming folks for money. I thought you was scamming folks to get on board with your failed ideology. Guess what, family? They say there's no honor amongst fleas. And I also see, based on this photo, that all the fleas, they run in threes. And foundational Black Americans, we keeping it G. There you go, fam. This is what it's about. The fact that we can sit here and we can regulate and we can smile, that lets you know we up right now. And this lets you know damn right we're going to roast. Damn right we're going to put it on the line. Because, see, that's the different energy between us and everybody else. We ain't on that turn the other cheek, be nice, don't prop up nobody. Hell no. What we doing, family, we regulating. Because it's been about FBA on day one all the way to the end. It's FBA certified for life and beyond. And I don't give a damn who it is. If you think you're going to get some type of soft, nice, sugar-coated energy from the grassroots, your ass is about 30 years too late. Gone with the emotion. Gone with the nice. Gone with turn the other cheek. Because turn the other cheek gets people trying to take your money. And I don't know about anybody else, but me as a foundational Black American, I ain't too keen on people taking my money. So therefore, I ain't here to play nice with nobody. I'm here to be real. And that's the difference between foundational Black Americans in this era and every other era. Everybody else was thinking with a nice mentality. We thinking with a real mentality. We're not sitting here saying, well, wait a minute now. That person's melanated like me. He must be my friend. Wait a minute now. That man right there said we all Black brother. That must be my friend. Wait a minute now. He is a victim of supremacy. I'm a victim of supremacy. Let's have one big victim of supremacy team. We found out all that don't work. So I want you to put all that into a box right there, family. And then I want you to come over here to the real side and look what we do. I gave you what they do. Now let's talk about us for a second. What do we do in this foundational Black American era? We don't give a damn how you feel. We don't give a damn what you think. We are too busy signal boosting who the hell we are, standing on principle, not moving, not shaking, just loving ourselves. And that is where the energy lies. The energy does not lie with, well, don't say that. Oh, no. We gonna say that, and then we gonna say some more, and we gonna do it the whole time. You want to know why everybody's mad, y'all? Everybody's mad that FBA we're regulating, and we're doing it with a smile. We out here happy as ever. We out here line dancing. We out here two-stepping. I just seen a brother doing the damn moonwalk. So when FBA's in the streets literally moonwalking, and everybody else is in the street literally getting deported, what does that tell you? It's got to be an energy shift. Because, family, I want you to think about this, and I thought about this earlier today when I was in my own thoughts, thinking about the movement and the strategy and being an activist in this time frame and how we're all chosen. Fam, I want all y'all to think about 5, 10, 12, 30 years from now. What are you going to leave for the Black American community? Are you going to leave, we could have had it, but I wanted Mr. Mutombo to catch up? Are you going to leave, I might have had it, but I didn't want to say that about Pedro? Because let me tell you something. Mutombo and Pedro, they're not having those sugar-coated conversations about us. Trust me when I tell you that. If you've seen a Julio Hernandez, a Benavidez having a broadcast like Black Alpha's having right now, and they were going in on Black folks, do you think anybody be in the chat saying be nice to the Black folks? I want you to ask yourself that question. Because we'll sit here and we'll be all the way in being real. And be honest with you, it ain't a matter of nice and mean. That's kid talk. Anybody talking about be nice and kid, go sit down, go to a park or a preschool. We grown folks. There's only real and fake. So do you think that if Mr. Mutombo was going in on us, anybody would say, hey, be nice to FBA? Do you think if Mr. Pedro was going in on us, anybody say, hey, be nice to FBA? I've been listening and I ain't heard no damn body saying be nice to FBA. What I do see is somebody called us a dirty Black American, and all of her people came out and defended her and just threw us under the bus, said F how they feel. And that's the difference, fam. The whole world has been saying F our feelings. So now we're saying we don't give a damn. We ain't got no feelings. We about business. I'm not waiting around to play nice with people who don't ever want to be nice to us, people who don't want to rock with us, people who got no concern for us. If you've been alive and you've been breathing, you've been on the same planet I have. And let me tell you, the first lesson that you will learn about life, don't nobody like no damn Black American other than Black Americans. Good. We don't need you. I don't need you to like me because I love me. And I love my sisters. And I love my brothers. I love the cousins. I love the team. I love the fam. I love the FBA grassroots. So when you start looking at the future and what the future holds, the first thing I'm thinking of is I'm going to leave exactly what it's always been. Straight up delineating, regulating, give a damn about your feelings, no F's given, and mama raised the hellraiser. And with that, I promise you, the next generation is going to have a baton where they can go ahead and slam that ball. See, the old folks back in the old days and the off-coded folks, they left us be nice. And you see how that turned out. We ain't leaving that. We leaving handle your business, get your money, and you might have to PIMP slap a few ops in the process. But guess what? If that's what it takes to get the money in the hand, then family, you can already start counting because we dishing them out. Let me show y'all more how we are in here, and we are fully rocking foundational Black American status. Brothers and sisters, kings and queens, goddess and gods, one thing about us is that we take no shorts and no losses, and we standing on business and full-time principle. And that principle that we're standing on cannot be disrupted. And every single day, these people are trying to disrupt what we got going. Remember that little story that popped out where the person said the N-word and it was caught on camera? Let me show y'all how much they playing patty cake with that and how we've learned from the past mistakes. Nobody's walking through that door to come save your black ass, okay? And guess what? The old generation waited for it. This generation saying, good, because I don't want no help anyway. I got me. Look at this, y'all. Here we go. This right here shows you exactly what we mean. Watch.
Fallout after racist comments at a meeting on the Upper West Side. The parent making the comments, also a professor at Hunter College.
These comments were heard on a Zoom while a student was speaking at an educational council meeting. The mayor and school counselor now weighing in, and some are calling for the parent to be fired from her job in education.
Eyewitness News anchor Joe Torres is live on the Upper West Side. And Joe, the school's chancellor also weighing in into this?
Well, that's for sure, Sade and Mike. The Community Action School, MS 258 here on the Upper West Side, one of 3 schools in this neighborhood targeted for relocation or closure. The student population here, largely Black and Latino, and we point that out because it was during a district council Zoom call more than 2 weeks ago on February 10th, where one parent on the call made some rather racially insensitive comments, and the firestorm is still brewing.
Stop. Fam, that wasn't directed at the Latino students. Notice how they're using the Latino students as a cover for the anti-Black racism. Watch it.
The controversial comments were caught on a District 3 Community Education Council Zoom call earlier this month.
They're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. I mean, apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. They just,
Allison Friedman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You got to stop.
It's just really defeating to hear that, you know, someone thinks that they go to a school that they don't know is bad and they're too dumb to realize that they're bad. That's actually like really bad to hear.
Allison Friedman is a district parent who also works as an associate professor in the Department of Biological Sciences at Hunter College. Following the remarks, the school issued a statement which read, in part, Hunter College is reviewing the situation under the university's applicable conduct and non-discrimination policies. We expect our community members' actions and words to comport with our institutional identity, values, and policies. Friedman put out a statement of her own and claimed her comments were taken out of context after accidentally unmuting her connection. My complete comments make clear these abhorrent views are not my own, nor were they directed at any student or group. However, I recognize these comments caused harm and pain. While that was not my intent, I do truly apologize. The mayor and the school's chancellor called the comments reprehensible.
I think it is indicative of the exact kind of language that makes students feel as if they don't belong within our public school system.
Teachers at MS 258, already dealing with the possibility of closure, said the comments are an unwelcome distraction, but also represent a teaching opportunity.
We're living through a moment like this that allows us to reinforce the ideas that we've been communicating, or certainly I've been communicating as a teacher throughout my career.
Now, the District 3 Community Education Council has its next meeting scheduled for tomorrow night, 5:30, right here. And they specifically designed that meeting to address what happened at the last meeting and to reinforce the council's mission, advocacy, without any demeaning or demoralizing language. Live on the Upper West Side tonight, I'm Joe Torres, Channel 7.
Stop. I love the comment I just seen in the chat. Don't nobody give a damn about your Mayo apology. See, what you understand this, family, when somebody's over emotional, that means they want apologies and acknowledgement from someone else. When we are strictly on business, we don't give a damn about your apology because we gonna handle it by our goddamn selves. Remember, y'all, we built this country. by our goddamn selves. We picked all the cotton by our goddamn selves. We maintained and sustained this country all by our goddamn self, fought in these wars all by our goddamn self, did everything that's great about America by our goddamn self. So if we did everything by ourselves, what the hell we need you for? We don't need you. The only thing that we need is to be foundational Black American, exceptional, stand on business next to your brothers and sisters. But guess what? Here's the good part about that, y'all. All of that comes natural for us. So the things that we need are organic. The things that we need are natural. The things that we need come as smooth as the day. And everybody else has to move out the way. That's what I love about you guys. Every single day I watch y'all and I see the way that you guys stand on business. And y'all ain't coming with no damn sugarcoating. Y'all don't be on that. Boy, I be seeing y'all wrecking. And I be loving that energy. I be like, God damn, I be seeing somebody not that long ago. I seen somebody who's like, I'm 70 years old and I be regulating these tellers. I said, hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. Amen. That's the type of energy. Because fam, Black Americans, we are so exceptional and we have such a good thing going. And I tell people all the time, and I will consistently say it, now is the time. We are the chosen people. What you think, it's an accident? You think it's a coincidence, family, that all these strange things have been going on and all these strange things have been happening? You guys know we're very spiritual people. Black Americans base a lot off of frequency and vibration. There's a lot of things that people don't know that we've been doing for a long time. And have you noticed how everything has become poetic? Why is it? Poetry is a flow of things. And if you notice, the flow has changed. If you looked at the vibrations from years ago, the vibrations were very jagged. It was all over the place, okay? Remember, they was begging for justice. They was hoping for justice. They was crying. Black folks were always on TV crying. Y'all remember that? Remember when Barack Obama got elected? Roland Martin cried. Jesse Jackson cried. Black folks was crying. Remember when they let off George Zimmerman? Black folks was crying. They was begging. And then out of nowhere, families start to see a shift. There wasn't no more tears. And then you start to see, well, no, wasn't no more begging. Wasn't no more praying. That's when the energy started to change. And I'm going to tell y'all something that's very pivotal, which we've talked about before. We're going to talk about it a little more. You think it's a coincidence out of nowhere, fam? Plantations are burning down. You got these Confederate museums, trees is falling on them. Lake Lanier snatching people up left and right. And y'all know that ice is about to melt. And a lot of folks is about to get snatched up from Lake Lanier. They be playing with Lake Lanier. They be like, let's see if this Black American spirituality stuff is real. They pray to the Mayo God. All right. And a matter of fact, I seen some taco truck gods. And they come to find out that that ain't where it's hitting for. And they think that they're going to mock us by going to swim in Lake Lanier. And let's just say they don't ever come back. I talked about this the other day, by the way. Do you guys know that underneath Lake Lanier, you obviously have Oscarville? Do you know what's underneath Oscarville? Underneath Oscarville are ancestral mounds. Yes, that's a hidden thing a lot of people don't know about. You have Lake Lanier, Oscarville, ancestral mounds. Oscarville was built over ancestral mounds, y'all. So you have Oscarville, then you have hundreds of thousands of Black American indigenous history. Do you know the ancestral, energetic Black spirituality that's frequency coming from that specific area? Hell no. A lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that, fam. That's what it is, fam. Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? Oscarville, that right there was a travesty what happened. And then underneath that are mounds, family. That'll blow your mind. So that shows you already that we out here strong and our energy is so crazy. Can y'all imagine what's going to pop off this summer and why? It's because we're on code. Energy, when people talk about energy, a lot of times, one of the things they leave out about energy is just like everything in life. The more it gets concentrated by more people contributing to the energy, the stronger it gets. Think about your sun, right? The sun in the sky, when it's flaming, when it's hot, and you see all the solar rays, the hotter it burns, the more you start to see the solar rays and the solar flares. I want you to view that with Black Americans being on code. The fact that we're on code and you got so many people who are on code now, we're all contributing a frequency and an energy to that. So therefore, it's only expanding and getting stronger. This is why things are happening and we ain't even lifting our fingers up, y'all. We sitting back, turn around, fam. Every day I'm rolling over, looking through social media. I'm like, damn, justice, poetic. It's because now you got so many Black Americans who are on code in one designated area. Y'all notice every time that happens, massive magical things occur to us, fam. Think about it. You could talk about the Civil War, right? That was Black Americans who got on code and said, we're going to have a slave rebellion, because that's what the Civil War was. We got on code in the Civil War. Black Americans. And then what ended up happening, fam? We whooped everybody's ass and we won that war for ourselves. That's because so many of us galvanized behind that code and that message. Okay, let's talk about Reconstruction. So many of us, we got together and we rebuilt our own stuff. Everybody was on code, one message. The civil rights era, so many people were on code. They all got together. It completely amplified the energy. What do you think's happening now, fam? You're seeing an amplifying of the energy because there's more of us on code. You got 70-year, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds. You got people who are teenagers on code. Nothing can stop this because there's so many of us contributing. Every single Black American, even if you contribute that much, it is powerful because it's all going to one destination. Now the ancestors is looking at us and saying, boy, look at them. They was out here praying to African Americans. Let me tell you something, fam. If you're praying to African Americans, I'm going to let you know your prayers are crashing out somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. They're not going to go up in the sky, go all the way over there and pray to Africa. You're praying to somebody else's ancestors when you're praying to African Americans. You're not praying to yours. Your stuff crashed out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That's why Black folks is always saying, please, please, please. Now Black folks are saying, I wish you would. Fuck around and find out. It's because now we're praying directly to our ancestral evidence, and we're praying directly to our ancestral brothers and sisters, kings and queens, goddess and gods. So therefore, the energy is taken off, family. We stand on code, something powerful. And we're all contributing to it in a very, very dominating fashion. And that's why it's a beautiful thing. And y'all know what they say about Black folks in the summertime. And the summer's coming. It's right around the corner. So therefore, as we come up, these people are going to crash out every single moment. And that's why we are moving along so swift and so savvy. Another thing that is tied into what I'm talking about now, y'all, is that when you start to see Black Americans speak, how many things do we say amongst each other that you don't even hear other people talk about? Fam, they don't talk about mounds. They don't talk about spirituality. Do you ever be around these other individuals, fam, and you notice they don't talk like us? They don't. The reason why is because they don't have the spiritual connection to the location in which they're in. Remember that. Spirituality is tied in very heavily to location. Energy we create can never be displaced. Yes, indeed. Malcolm X's energy is still on the planet Earth. This is scientific and spiritual. So you get the science world and the spiritual world all together. Malcolm X's energy is still here. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s energy is still here. Huey P. Newton's energy is still here. Hell, Harriet Tubman's energy is still here. Energy that is created can never be displaced. So since it cannot be displaced, fam, it's still here. It just wasn't harnessed. Now we've harnessed all of that. Your family, you got lost loved ones, family, that have passed away and transitioned, maybe in the flesh, but their energy's still here. This is why we can feel them. Everybody, what do we say, fam? Tap in. Who says tap in? Everything we do. See, they think a lot of stuff that we do and say is like slang. They think it's slang talk. No. Tap in. Tap into the spiritual world, to the energy, to the vibrations. We say it's a vibe. When I say it's a vibe, I say you vibing. It means you my brother, my sister. We vibing. But y'all notice everything that we say that sounds like slang, tap in, frequency, a wave, a vibe. Y'all notice all those also at the same exact time have a spiritual connotation to it? Nobody else do that, fam. Nobody can take something that is spiritual, put a twist on it, and make it sound good like it's slang. We can. So this is why Black Americans are moving so strong. And I realize that me, myself, and I, and all of my brothers and sisters, we have been chosen to be a part of what's going on now because it takes all of this to go where we're going. The future is as bright as it's ever been for foundational Black Americans. And it's because of every single living, breathing, on code foundational Black American that's happening. There's things that are going on now that we didn't ever sit down and talk about. Fam, we didn't sit down and say we're going to have a FBA grassroots movement. We didn't sit down and say there's going to be delineation. We just did. We just did it. These MFers got to have conferences and sit down and perpetuate all they hate. They got to have TikTok lives. We ain't got to do none of that. We're moving so strong, fam, because of that energy. Y'all know I always bring this up, and I got to bring it up again because I love bringing this up. When we talk about Black children and past ancestors, do y'all know we're the only people who share the stories that our youth always sees somebody that passed away before they were born? I'm telling you now, I've been around other people. They don't have these conversations. I think a lot of folks think that everybody has these conversations, and then they find out, no, the hell they don't. There is a whole dictionary of things that only we do. Everybody has a niece, a nephew, a child of their own, a son, a daughter that knew a grandparent or an aunt and uncle that they weren't even alive to see. And they be knowing them too. They be knowing, they be like, oh yeah, man, I remember his hair was like this. We're like, how the hell you know? You know, grandparent passed away in 88. Kid was born in 90. Somehow the kid from 90 knows exactly what the grandparent looked like, felt like, and has stories. I remember playing with them when I was younger. How were you playing with them? They passed away in 88. Yes, we were. We was playing. They pushed me on the swing. I fell that day and they picked me up. Family, okay, look at the chat. Look at the chat right now, fam. Y'all look at the chat. There they go. That right there. If you don't believe us, look it up. You don't believe us, look at the chat. The chat is prime example. How we all got these damn stories, family? How we all got these stories? You think it's a coincidence that we sit here and got these damn stories? And I'm telling you now, nobody else has these stories. Nobody else. Absolutely. Magic numbers. We all will see certain numbers all the time, fam. And the numbers that we see, they all have a connotation to it. I don't know about you guys, but I always see 333. Okay. That's what I always see. I'm not going to tell you the significance of it, but it's someone that passed away that's close to me. And I always see that. And I see it at times where I need to see it. And then boom, I see it like that. I'm sure you guys have the same exact thing. Y'all notice how we share all this? Nobody else has this. Nobody else has it. I wish I could find this video of this little black girl, and they're at the house and she's sitting there chilling, and the little black girl's playing with somebody, and the parents are in the room, and the parents are like, hey, there's nobody here. And the little black girl is smiling. She's a baby and she's grinning and she's having a great time. And they say, you going to stop? She's like, no, because whatever that is, that's a good soul. That's a good spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was maybe a parent or somebody who passed, and then boom. What about another one? Yep. As y'all see them too, right? Look at y'all. Look at it. See, look at that. Look at all the numbers. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, fam. They don't have these conversations. They don't have these. They make TikTok lives hating on us. They don't do these. They make Twitter spaces hating on us. Okay. This is what you don't see this with nobody else. Black Americans. We're the ones who do all of this stuff. I see y'all. Boy, that's deep. Boy, I'm looking at some of y'all stuff right now. Boy, I'm getting chills, boy. Talk your talk. I seen a thing of God just the other day. He said, yeah, man, every morning I go outside, and every morning he said, I get up, I go outside, I go have a lemonade or sweet tea, and I go check the mail. He said, the neighbor across the street, he's always out front when I wake up, and the neighbor's sitting there and he's looking at the newspaper and he's having a sweet tea and he waves. He said, I went and I seen him this morning, and I walked out there. I said, hey, how you doing? Same thing. He said, I've been doing this for 10 years. He said, I seen him and waved to him, and he waved back at me, and he was sitting there, and I was going to get my mail and drink. He said the very next day, he told the person's daughter, he said, hey, I saw your dad. She said, there's no way you could saw my dad. He said, why? He said, my dad passed away 2 days ago. He said, oh, that was all the ambulance and everything that was out there. He said, I thought he was sick or something. He said, she was like, no. He never came back home. That when you seen him, the ambulance in the corner came, he was gone. He never came back home. He said, hell, I just seen him. He was like, no way you seen him. And then there was a sister, and the sister said, oh, you seen him? And he said, yes, I seen him. You see what I'm talking about? That right there happens. There's a lot of strange things that happen. I'll give you another prime example. There's a lot of times where you see like a celebrity, an artist. You ever notice that they always have like something happen to them right before they pass away, and it was almost like them being put in the position to say like bye? For instance, I'll give you an example. This could be minor to people. It's big to me. You could take the rapper Young Bleed. Okay, how you do that there for all my Louisiana folks. Young Bleed hadn't been around for a long time. He goes and he does the verses with No Limited Cash Money. He passes away right after that. That was him being put in a position to get his moment to where his life work of music, it can spread and people could have one good time to vibe with him, and then he passed away. A lot of things happen like that when you start dealing with Black Americans, and we see through a lot of that stuff that people don't see. So family, you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? There's something deeper going on than just us being regular foundational Black Americans and whooping ass. We're doing that, of course, and it feels good. But there's a spiritual vibe that a lot of us are tapping into that we see. Okay, I see that. Yep. I see, boy, y'all got me in here deep. Boy, look at y'all. Goddamn. Yeah, he got to say goodbye for the last. Same thing. I know he went to FBA, but Heavy D. And I got a lot of respect for Heavy D. Heavy D, same thing. Heavy D performed and then he passed away right afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that end up happening. And Black Americans, we see through that. You know what I'm saying? You said you used to see your dad everywhere. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. That's exactly how it is, man. You see a lot of things that just pop up. And you know, when Black Americans, we be like, no, I'm not playing. Like, I know what I saw. You know what I'm saying? We be like, I know. How many of you guys have had a dream where somebody comes to you in a dream and then you find out that either they passed before or they passed right afterwards? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that go on. Well, I know Heavy D's Jamaican, but much respect to Heavy D. At the end of the day, we still see the spiritual element. You know what I'm saying? Much respect. I love Heavy D. I'm going to tell you right now, Heavy D, my guy. So shout out to Heavy D. Much respect to Heavy D. I got love for Heavy D. So he's Jamaican. However, we still see that spiritual vibe right there. You don't see you don't even see his own community talking about him. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Heavy D more than they do. So shout out to Heavy D for that. But y'all notice that y'all have a dream and stuff, and something happened, boom. And then you find out like, whoa, what? Excuse me? What happened? Oh yeah, this happened. You don't even know, but like, damn, I dreamed it. Let me tell y'all, man, I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to say it real fast. When Prince passed away, there's only two people that know what I'm talking about. when Prince passed away, I was outside and I was telling everybody about Prince and how great Prince was and how we had to watch out for Prince. Y'all remember one of the last times people saw Prince? Prince was on stage and he was talking about basically Black empowerment, right? Remember, Prince was out there standing up for Freddie Gray. If I'm not mistaken, the last record that was released by Prince was about Freddie Gray out there in Baltimore. And if I'm not mistaken, he went out there and did a concert and he performed that record. Prince ended up passing away right after that. And I remember telling everybody, I said, yo, we got to keep an eye on Prince, man. You know, the energy and everything was strong. And then right after that situation, Prince passed away 2 days after I said it to her. My friend, if she's listening, shout out to you. I don't think she likes me no more, but it's all good. I still got love for you. A lot of people don't like me no more, but it's all good. A lot of people love me though. Prince, she called me and said, I can't believe that you seen that, or you said that. I said it 2 days ago. When I'm sitting there watching Prince, when he passed away on the news, it felt like I was having deja vu. That's what it was, fam. That's how much it was tapped in. Somebody said the veil is, you know, it's thin sometimes. That's really where it was. So I was like, whoa, God damn. Nothing but love for Heavy D. I caught that. Nothing but love. But yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, wow, that's wild that ended up happening with Prince. And that happens to all of us. It's not just one person, it's everybody's stories. You know what I'm saying? So foundational Black Americans, we're very, very spiritual people. And foundational Black Americans, we on game and we see through things that other people just can't see, fam. And I'm telling you right now, go around these people. They don't have these conversations and they don't have these stories. You know what I'm saying? Prince passed away. They said that he basically OD'd on stuff. And they later on also said that his medicine was switched. And I know y'all know what that is. Prince and Michael Jackson went out the same way. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And they lied about it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So yes. And you know, like they said with deja vu, what they say, they got three types of deja vu. You got the deja vu, like, I kind of think this happened. You got the other deja vu, like, this is similar. And then you got the other one was like, no. This happened. This happened. That is things that we tap into that other people don't tap into, fam. And they definitely don't do it the way we do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the energy and it's just a vibe that nobody gets but foundational Black Americans. And if you apply that same energy from what I'm talking about, really what it was with Prince is that Prince was out there standing on business. And remember, y'all, Prince used to watch Hidden Colors. Prince used to make people watch Hidden Colors, y'all. Remember that, y'all. Prince used to make people watch Hidden Colors. He was a rider. The whole independent game that you see in the movement and music was all based on that. So Prince was standing on business and he was pushing out a lot of Black empowerment energy. And that same energy, I guess I was subconsciously picking up on. And then he passed away later. But it shows you that I was tapped into that vibration that he was putting out, that frequency. And then it ended up happening what happened to him. But it lets you know, family, that I was able to see the spiritual energy and his frequency was so strong that I did what? I tapped into it. And we tap into a lot of things. Sometimes it's something bad happens to somebody. Sometimes it's something good that happens to people. But you always notice there's always a line of goodness to it. If you ever notice that with Black Americans, there's always a good vibe to it. Even if it's something sad or something bad happens, typically we feel a good vibe from it because we understand that it's bigger and it's greater. So that's one of the most beautiful things about certified foundational Black America. Yeah, Prince was standing on that business, boy. Shout out to Prince. Yeah, exactly. I see y'all. Y'all know exactly what happened. Same with Whitney. Same with Whitney too. Same with Whitney, fam. Same that Prince, Whitney, Michael Jackson. I can give a couple more. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to do it because y'all already know. That type of energy that we have, nobody has that type of energy. It's only a foundational Black American thing. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. They loved us. Prince and Mike Jack. All day. Yes, the hell they did. Yes. So when you see the kids are seeing the spiritual energy, or you pick up a vibe, or you have a dream, or you see a number, or plantations get burned down, or trees fall on Confederate monuments, or people get G-checked and thrown under the bus for opposing us, family, just understand that it's always the three things. It is mind, body, and soul. Mentally, physically, spiritually, speak it, believe it, receive it. And if you guys notice, I'm always incorporating that in everything that I say and everything that I do, because it is the trifecta. When you got all three, you own one. You can have one, you can kind of feel it. You got two, it's sort of there. You got all three, then that's how you move mountains, family, and that's how you shut things down. And that's the foundational Black American way. So yeah, y'all, we have all been chosen to be a part of this era, and we're all contributing to this era. And it's an era based on frequency and vibration where we're tapping in to our ancestral presence. Same way it goes Lake Lanier, Oscarville, mounds all throughout. Savannah, Georgia's got the Bilbo mounds. Those things are 5,000 years old. Savannah, Georgia also is the most haunted place in the world. By the way, let me say this, fam. You ever notice when W's talk about spirits, it's always like a bad thing? You ever notice that, fam? It's always like the ghosts are hunting people and going after them and all that. Black Americans, we decipher the bad energy and the good one. We cipher the negative and the positive. They're always very negative about their stuff. It's when you see their pastors and their preachers, you ever notice they're real mean and angry? Black folks be at church dancing. You ever notice that, fam? Look at how many times y'all have seen some of their stuff at the end of their damn. You ever watch the infomercials at night and they be like, on the third day, he's going to come and take damnation on her. It's always bad and negative. Spirits and ghosts and them preaching, it's always bad. And that's, for the most part, how they behave. You notice with Black Americans, man, the church is popping. You know what I'm saying? We in there having fun. Black Americans are having fun because we're good people, we're strong people, we're smart people, we tapped in, we got the frequency amongst us. So we know with all of that, now let's just have a good time. So if you take all of our positivity and all of our spiritual energy and we harness that all in one and contribute to that as moving the community forward, that's the same exact thing that we're doing now in this generation. We're taking the soul, we're taking the spirit. Matter of fact, hell, look at that right there. Soul and spirit. Everybody else says soul and spirit and it means nothing to them. We literally have a whole base of that. If you really want to go there, fam, if you had to choose one word that would identify foundational Black Americans, it would be soul. That's why we say soul food. Okay, we got the spirit. Notice this, fam. Nobody else says soul and spirit the way we do because they don't have the soul and spirit that we have. Family, if you add it all up, it makes perfectly good sense. And it's something that 1 billion people could be in one room and there could be 5 foundational Black Americans. And I promise you, all 5 of those foundational Black Americans are going to know exactly what we're talking about. And here's the cool part about it, brothers and sisters. We don't even have to say it to each other because when you think it, that's cool. When you know it, that's good. When you feel it, that's the answer. And family, I feel the love, you feel the love, we feel the love, and the love is only growing stronger because we certified foundational Black Americans, y'all. They just growing old and we got the soul. Much love. All right, y'all. I'm going to tap out. I want y'all to know I love you with a passion. Family, we coming back with it. Make sure that you tap in and continue this energy. You see somebody off code? Give them the G-check. You see somebody who ain't rocking? Regulate them. But just know as you do it, fam, you got the soul and the spirit and the energy of 5 billion. And I'm talking about 5 billion with a B. Brothers and sisters. I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the ones who are gone. And I'm talking about the ones who are coming. You got that with you every single thing that you do, y'all. So remember, the energy we create can never be displaced. So let's go ahead and put out that energy. Let's put out that love. Let's put out that passion because it's shown, y'all. The more that we permeate, the more that we put it out, the more it comes back to us. It is good karma, all right? And they're getting the bad karma. The bad karma is that ABK, anti-Black karma, and it be knocking down their door, kicking it in like the police. FBA, we certified, we standing on one. So I want you to do this for me, family. Tomorrow, today, and beyond. Represent yourself, represent your family, represent your elders, represent your ancestors, represent the offspring, put out the love, put out the frequency, put out the energy. Because no matter what we do, no matter how we do it, when we're on one and we turned up to the maximum, talking about 150, we are still our beautiful foundational Black American selves. And we carry the energy of our ancestors, our family tree, our culture, and our presence. A presence that is right here, the groundwork, the foundation of the country that we built. And we ain't going nowhere. We standing on 10 and we only getting better. So if you don't like foundational Black Americans, that's a personal problem because foundational Black Americans, we run everything, including your ass. Checkmate. Certified. See you on the other end, family. I want y'all to enjoy your night. It has been another lovely FBA gathering because, you know, these people just talk, but we have gatherings amongst ourselves. We have family reunions and we sit down and we chop it up. So I want all my brothers and sisters to understand if you woke up today, you woke up winning. Why did you win? Because you are a certified foundational Black American, and that's all the hell we do. Stay true. Peace and love. Y'all remember, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter where you at, that Black is beautiful. And I say this with all the ancestors watching us, fam, and all the elders, y'all, and all the energy and all the vibrations. Black is beautiful, and beautiful is always Black. FBA, man, certified salute. Love y'all with a passion. Free Huey.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.